Broadcasting Company presents the National Football League. Today, from Giant Stadium, it's the Miami Dolphins versus the New York Jets. Brought to you by Bud Light. Everything else is just a light. By Chrysler Plymouth. We're working together to be the best. And by Castrol, the motor oil engineered for today's smaller cars.
The Dolphins and the Jets, the competitive AFC East, both playoff teams last year. Recently, they provided some spectacular results. They had it spinning in their last meeting last November. Final seconds, Orange Bowl, Miami. A Dan Marino to Mark Duper pass. 50 yards and a dramatic 21-17 Miami win. That was 85. Today at Giant Stadium, they clash again. Though early, it's already playoff important. And the usual sellout crowd of 76,000 at Giant Stadium. Perfect football weather, partly sunny and 72 degrees in this AFC East matchup, Miami and the Jets. Hello, everyone. Dick Enberg with Merlin Olsen. Welcome to East Rutherford, New Jersey. Both teams are 1-1. Third week of the season. Is that too strong a talk that it has playoff implications?
Dick, I don't think so, because if you want to get to those playoffs, you've got to win the games within your division. The Jets have already lost a game to New England here at home last week. They can't really figure to beat Miami in Miami. This game takes on very great and important proportions to them.
In fact, if New England should win today, the loser of this game will fall quickly 2 games back. Well, here in New York, the Jets' favorite material has been adhesive and gauze.
Lots of bandages here. Freeman McNeil, their ace running back for the Jets, out on injured reserve with a hyperextended elbow. That really hurts them, because you know that the way you want to beat Miami is to run the football. Puts a lot of pressure on Johnny Hector today.
And the defensive backfield for the Jets decimated. Do they have 4 healthy players there?
Well, yes, but just barely. Walking wounded. 6 Jet defensive backs hurt. That means they had to go out at the first of this week and bring in 2 extra defensive backs. They've activated them, brought them onto the roster. I had talked to Bud Carson yesterday. Carson said, I don't know, we couldn't even line up 4 healthy guys out there yesterday.
And they have to face Dan Marino. When Marino throws his 8th pass today, he will rate as the all-time NFL passer in efficiency.
Oh, Dick, I got to tell you, if I were Marino, you might see 8 of the word to go with the kickoff, and we're ready for football here in Foxborough. Edmonds takes it at the 12. He's out to the 31-yard line. Derwin Williams makes the tackle for the New England Patriots. Seattle's offense has a diversified attack under their new coordinator, Steve Moore. Steve Largent is 3rd on the NFL all-time receiving list. John L. Williams is a rookie. Seattle's offensive line permitted 53 sacks in 85. Their group is on a weight program, and they're using a new blocking scheme this year. From the 31, first down for Seattle. Craig to pass. The pass intended for Steve Largent at the 47-yard line. Incomplete. Ronnie Lepet on the coverage for New England. Here's the defensive line of the New England Patriots. They're excellent. 8 of the 11 overall defensive players for the Patriots are either number 1 or number 2 picks. Brent Williams is a rookie. The linebackers are considered the best in the AFC. Tippett may be the best in the National Football League. And as for the defensive backs, all 4 started every game in 85. They permitted just 14 touchdowns. 2nd and 10 from the Seattle 31. This is Kurt Warner trying to get outside. Gets back to the line of scrimmage, and that's about it. It'll bring up a 3rd and 10. Ronnie Lepet, along with Raymond Claiborne and Fred Marion, were there to push him out of bounds.
And, Tom, it's interesting to note that Seattle has already started to run towards Andre Tippett's side. They feel that they have got to keep him occupied. They just can't have him putting pressure from the backside, so they're going to try to run at him. And they have already come out and established this first play, running right at Andre Tippett. And, of course, he got run out of bounds for only a 1-yard gain.
So it brings up a 3rd and 9 from the 32-yard line. coming. Blackman with the pressure. The pass is incomplete at the 45. It's a bit short.
And Tom, to watch that, Dave Craig was under a lot of pressure that time. The Patriots realized they just have got to get pressure on Dave Craig, and Andre Tippett made a great play that time. He flushed him out of the pocket, but Craig had the foresight to set up quickly and try to come back with that pass. It may be tough to pass today with this wet field. Every time the ball hits the turf, it's going to be wet.
Vince Gamart, the punter for Seattle. So they got this one as a high hanger, but it's going to bounce around the 44-yard line of Seattle where it's covered there. John Kaiser covered the ball for Seattle. So New England gets its first shot offensively, and we're going to take a look at those offensive players for the New England Patriots. The Patriots have some of the fastest receivers on cleats, and Tony Collins blocks extremely well for Craig James. Patriots offensive line a bit thin with the retirement of John Hanna. The right tackle, Steve Moore, tips the scale at 346. Punt is only 24 yards, 1st and 10 for the Patriots. Ball spotted at the 44. And Eason to pass, flipping it out of the backfield. Completing the pass to Craig James, and Eugene Robinson comes up to make the tackle.
Eugene Robinson on the tackle.
Seattle's defensive line is excellent. Jacob Green is a master at getting to the quarterback. New England has permitted fewer points. They're the only team fewer than Seattle. The linebackers are led by Keith Butler as we come up on a 2nd down now from the 44.
Elaborated. Well, we're going to see throughout the course of this game one of those ideal matchups in football. You've got an all-pro center many regard as the best in the game today, Dwight Stevenson of Miami. And many would vote for Joe Flacco as the best nose tackle in the NFL. And they're matched, well, face bar to face bar throughout the course of this afternoon.
It is a nose-to-nose confrontation.
Flacco won the battle the first game here last year, and the Jets with an impressive win, and Stevenson took care of him down in Miami. Flags all over this field. And is it complete, or was he out of bounds? It was at the 19-yard line, complete if it counts, and a 16-yard gain to Duper. And now the flags. That early usually against offense. Motion. Miami. And that will nullify another perfect strike by Marino. The men in the black and white, Pat Haggerty, the referee, and his crew, including the replay official, Tony Viteri, longtime veteran.
Illegal motion, number 68, offense, still 2nd down.
Bud Carson started defensively with a 3-man alignment, a 3-4, something they have not done this year. And I think, again, trying to get more of those linebackers in to assist in the secondary. He came in later with the 4-3, and I'm sure they'll mix it up on the day.
Don Shula sends in an extra wide receiver with Duper and Clayton, joined by the veteran Nat Moore, the old-time Dolphin receiver. Moore is far left. That's Moore in motion. A little mix-up in the backfield, and Hampton caught by Gastineau and swarmed down by half the Jets defense way back at the Miami 45. Back at the Jets 45. They don't count the final 10 yards.
Looking down from high up in the end zone. It's a little counter play, but there's a collision in the backfield right there. One of the wide receivers in motion bumped into Lorenzo Hampton. That allowed Gastineau with his quickness to get a piece of him, and then there was no way to come back. They allowed him his forward motion, but boy, they put about 8 Jet defenders on top of Lorenzo Hampton on that play.
3rd down, call it a long 19. Marino out of the shotgun for the first time. Underneath, almost intercepted. Bobby Humphrey was the closest Jet. They tried to hit Tony Nathan, and the Jets defense has held.
Well, after a couple of quick successes in the air, Jet defense stiffened. They were able to put that patchwork defensive secondary in the right spots to shut it off.
Reggie Roby, the biggest punter in the National Football League, 243-pounder out of the University of Iowa. And he just sledgehammers the ball. Averaged 43.7 in the first 2 games of this year. Also, as you saw, some problems on returns. Kurt Sohn, 7.5. His average on 4 returns is back at the 10. Very high. Look at the Dolphins swarming around Sohn, who fair catches at the 11-yard line. 34-yard return. Bobby Humphrey hoping he'll get a chance to take one a long way back.
Give me a light. Bud Light. If you just ask for a light beer, you know.
Usually they carry them in a handbag. They don't want anybody to touch them.
Dennis Blygen opens with Johnny Hector in the backfield behind Ken O'Brien, and that's Rocky Cleaver in motion. Not much there at all for Blygen, a couple of yards. First check of the scores in the National Football League. No scoring yet as those games are underway. Denver gets a safety early at Philadelphia, and Indianapolis with a quick score against the Rams. Minnesota gets early against the Steelers.
Cleaver came all the way inside to crack on the nose tackle that time. Very unusual play for the Jets.
2nd and 8. Hector dancing into the secondary and dropped at the 22. First down, Jets. In white, New York lines up offensively this way. O'Brien, part of that great class of quarterbacks in 1983. Hector for the injured Freeman McNeil. Tony Page, although Blygen started for Page, better receiver Blygen. Toon, they love him here. You'll hear a lot of Toon when he gets his hands in the ball. The speedster veteran Wesley Walker. Tight end Mickey Schuler. He's caught 144 the last 2 years. The line of Sweeney, Banker, Fields, Alexander, and McElroy. Same names as late last year, but they're in different positions, 3 of them. Hector again over the top to the 25, a gain of 3. Fields at center, and Alexander was playing with a bad back at right guard in the same spots, but Sweeney, Banker, and McElroy moved around. The Miami Dolphins defense has a couple of rookies. One, T.J. Turner from Houston. Bob Baumhauer, the all-pro, back at nose tackle, and Little, the other wide man. Brzezinski shipped John Offerdahl from Western Michigan. They're really high on that rookie, and Hugh Green, the all-pro. Langford, Judson, Blackwood, and Brown in the backfield. Dennis Blygen for 5 out to the 30-yard line, where it'll be 3rd and 2. Jackie Shipp, number 50 in the Miami defense, to make the tackle.
Just watching Dan Alexander down there, we talked about his back injury. Number 60, right in the middle of your screen. Boy, I tell you, he has tried to make his blocks. You saw him throwing down at TJ on that play, but he is having problems in there. Alexander will probably go as long as he can, but that may not be too long.
3rd and 2, 4 plays, 4 rushes for the Jets. And they stay on the ground again to Hector. A little misdirection, and Hector has a first down at the 33, almost the 34. Now the Jets, a couple of first downs to get out of the hole.
Number 56, right in the middle of your picture, John Offerdahl, and they are so excited about him. He is one of the very quiet, very unassuming young men. Got away with a little hanger on the face mask on that play, but he's calling the defensive signals. You see him stepping into the huddle there with the call from Chuck Studley on the sideline, and he is an impact player. They are thrilled to have him.
I've never heard Shula use so much praise about a first-year player since Marino checked in. O'Brien's first throw. Plenty of time, and then no one open, and he has to eat it back at the 25-yard line.
And if there's one thing that I'd like to see O'Brien do, it's to learn how to unload that football. You've heard a lot about it. We've heard a lot about the sacks, and I'm sure O'Brien is tired of hearing about the sacks. But at the same time, there's an awareness factor that you'd like to see him develop. The ability to throw that football away when he knows there's no one open. Marino does that, I think, as well as any quarterback in the league today. And as on the other side of the spectrum, the least sacked quarterback in football, as opposed to O'Brien being the most sacked quarterback.
62 times last year, and that was the 8th sack against O'Brien this year. Credit Hugh Green with the sack. On 2nd and 13, O'Brien dumps it off, has a man. It's the tight end, Claver. Rocky Claver from the University of Montana gets 11 before Brzezinski can tackle him from behind.
That ball slightly underthrown. Had it been stretched out a little bit over the top, I think they would have had the first down. Brzezinski able to recover enough to make a saving tackle, at least for the first down. Watch him right here. Had to stop for that ball. If he could have picked it up on the run, kept his momentum, would have picked up at least another 10 yards on the play.
We talked about the all-pro matchup with Stevenson going against Klecko. You saw Bob Baumhauer, also an all-pro, against Joe Fields, the highly regarded center of the Jets. Baumhauer putting pressure on O'Brien. 3rd down and a short 2. And it's going to be close as Hector trying to edge forward. George Little, 99. Defensive right end from Iowa was there first.
He's going to be short, Dick. They didn't get up to that marker on that play. You talk about Baumhauer. Baumhauer still coming back from knee problems. Is not back to full speed. Has improved each and every week. But he told me, even though his knee actually feels better than it did back in '84, he is not back to full speed at this time.
Baumhauer, one of the many from Alabama, and many spotted on this Miami roster. And of course, Alabama, another theme for Don Shula. Practice yesterday, he interrupted practice several times to say, get me that Alabama score. His son Mike Shula, the quarterback of the Tide, and they were successful yesterday, 21-7.
A lot of Florida players on that team. There might have been a few friendly wagers on that game as well.
A 4th down and less than a yard, as you saw, and the punting team already on. Dave Jennings averaging 37.6 a kick this year. 4 times a Pro Bowler himself.
Excellent contrast in Jennings and Roby. Jennings with a net average that is not too spectacular, but with a net average that's much better than his gross average. Kicks the ball with great control, good hang time. They don't get much on the returns.
Nat Moore, as you saw, deep at the 13. Beautiful spiral. Moore, fair catch at the 9-yard line. An excellent kick by the veteran Dave Jennings from St. Lawrence University. Went there as a basketball player and just said, I can kick a football, and here he is now in his 13th NFL year.
The pride is back. Introducing the unbelievable American under $7,800 Plymouth Sundance Series. The pride is back. Born in America. Plymouth Sundance. Everything you thought came only in an import is now born in America. Sundance, the best value of any car in its class. Sundance, 47 feature standard, including a 2.2 fuel-injected engine, power steering, and power brakes. Quality backed by a 5-year or 50,000-mile protection plan. Sundance, the exciting option of turbo power. Sundance, unbelievable quality around you. Unbelievable excitement in front of you. Unbelievable price to move you. Plymouth Sundance, the unbelievable American under $7,800. The pride is back. Born in America again.
Aha, there's a thief in this attic. This skimpy amount of insulation can rob you blind on your fuel bill.
Fight back with the attic blanket from Owens Corning. It's the thickest, most powerful roll of pink insulation you can add. It can help you save money on your fuel bill.
It is an open and shut case.
Owens Corning. We put your house in the pink.
An American tradition continues. The 1940s and 50s witnessed the era of the splendid splinter. The 60s and 70s were inspired by the Yaz. Today, slugger Jim Rice fuels the pennant fever for Boston as the Red Sox battle the Blue Jays or the Astros face the Braves. The tradition is here. The memories are waiting.
You'll never get more contrasting styles than the kicking techniques of Jennings and Roby.
Watch Jennings first. Very controlled. The ball at about the shoulder level, even below the shoulder level. Watch Roby. Look how high he starts his drop. A violent kicking action, and yet Roby's foot, his plant foot, stays on the ground. Jennings is up in the air to finish it. That's interesting.
We'll take another look at that. Out of the backfield, Hampton, incomplete. That last punt by Jennings was good for 48 yards to put Miami inside the 10-yard line. And before we go to the kickers, let's, well, we're just a short punt away from NFL 86.
Dick, here's the opening kickoff in Philadelphia. Junior Totalatasi bringing it back for the Eagles. Ken Woodard hits him for the Broncos. Mike Harden comes up. The ball squirts free. The Broncos can't recover it. Otherwise, it would have been 1st and goal to go. Instead, it squirts out of the end zone for a safety. Later, they add a field goal and lead 5-0.
All right, Bob, very timely. We talked about the Denver defense in NFL 86, and already they've produced, in essence, 5 points against the Eagles. Hampton corralled after a gain of nearly 5. Lance Mell, Penn State, All-American in on the tackle. Still no score. St. Louis, Buffalo, Atlanta, Dallas. 5-0, a baseball score. The Broncos at Philly. Indianapolis up 7-0 against the Rams. Pittsburgh has tied the Vikings at 7. No score in Detroit. 3rd down. Between 5 and 6 yards for the first down. 6 defensive backs in against Marino. Incomplete. And the reason it was pressure by Gastineau and Lyons on Marino. And Gastineau trying to get the crowd going. The football Samson, number 99, the long-haired Mark Gastineau.
Brings Reggie Roby back onto the field. And they're going to kick out of Reggie Roby. Will start in his own end zone to kick this one away. Should give the Jets good field position.
Watch again how Roby uses that real high release of the ball, and then he locks the plant foot down. Most kickers will let that plant foot leave the ground. He just sledgehammers. Sohn at the 50. 40. 30. Kurt Sohn to the Miami 23.
What a great play by Sohn. Wow.
36-yard punt by Roby, and Sohn takes it back 27, and the Jets are in scoring position.
Introducing the unbelievable American under $7,800. The Plymouth Sundance Series. Plymouth Sundance, the best value of any car in its class, including the imports. 47 standard features to convince you. 5-year or 50,000-mile protection plan to assure you. Plymouth Sundance, the unbelievable American under $7,800. The pride is back. Born in America. Again.
Ladies and gentlemen. Not everyone got a vacation this summer.
Great Gregory! I need a vacation like nobody's business. I need a vacation.
This fall, you can still get great low fares to more places on the biggest bargain airline, United.
I got a vacation. Give me another shot at it. And I'm not just flying, I'm flying the friendly sky.
Nice soft landing.
Today's small cars are tougher than ever on oil. Their high-compression engines not only rev high, they can run hotter than regular small car engines. Their searing heat can begin to break down an oil immediately. That's why there's Castrol, the only leading motor oil that in every grade provides maximum protection against viscosity and thermal breakdown. So use Castrol before your engine does something to get you heated up. Castrol, engineered for today's smaller cars.
Who wouldn't want to be marooned in a tropical paradise with Lonnie Anderson? Ha! Her ex-boyfriend, that's who. Stranded, Monday.
Roby may want to give Jennings his shoe back after that punt.
He might at that. Watch this great play. Sohn catches the ball under pressure. Gets away from Mike Smith, 25 there. Away from the tight end coming down. And then just breaks his way up the sideline. And that's such a heady play, an experienced play, knowing when you can catch the ball in traffic and do something with it to help your team get that field position. I'll tell you, they really are tickled to death to have Sohn back and productive. They thought he'd never play again after that severe knee injury.
Roby, the punter, made the tackle just 9 yards past the line of scrimmage for the punt. From the 23, Cleaver in motion. Hector. Johnny Hector from Texas A&M down close to the 15-yard line before Offerdahl, and Bud Brown can make the tackle for Miami. 5 minutes left first quarter. Let's go to NFL 86.
All right, Dick, a moment ago in Foxborough, Rich Camarillo to punt for the Patriots. The Seahawks, Kerry Justin blocks it. They take over at the 13-yard line, and on the next play, Kurt Warner scores, and the Seahawks have a 7-0 lead in the first at New England.
Well, that's an interesting matchup. Seattle and New England both unbeaten. And Seattle uses the defense to score. O'Brien looking for 6 underneath. Incomplete to Blygen. He looked long first to Walker in the end zone and then tried to throw underneath.
O'Brien very disciplined in his move from receiver to receiver. They're very careful. They have him structured. You see the look deep. Comes right back there when the deep pass is not open to Blygen. That pass should have been gathered in by Dennis Blygen, who has developed into a very fine receiver out of the backfield, but didn't show you that skill on that particular catch.
O'Brien, who had sensational numbers last year other than being sacked, 25 touchdowns, only 8 passes intercepted, 3rd and a long 2. Incomplete, and fortunate for the Jets, that was not intercepted on the ricochet. Al Toon was the intended target. Here comes Pat Leahy as the Jets look for his 15th consecutive field goal.
You'd almost like to see a stat that says passes dropped, because it's so unfortunate to credit the quarterback with an incomplete pass in a situation like that where Al Toon had the ball in his hands and should have made the catch for a first down.
32-yard field goal attempt out of Pat Ryan's hold. Guy Bingham to snap. Veteran Leahy's been outstanding. He's really hitting him, and he's got another. 15 straight. The NFL record 23. Mark Mosley. Now the Jets have scored first. Ken O'Brien wanted 7, but New York settles for 3.
The pride is back. Introducing the unbelievable American under $7,800 Plymouth Sundance Series. The pride is back. Born in America. Plymouth Sundance. Everything you thought came only in an import is now born in America. Sundance. The best value of any car in its class. Sundance, 47 feature standard, including a 2.2 fuel-injected engine, power steering, and power brakes. Quality backed by a 5-year or 50,000-mile protection plan. Sundance, the exciting option of turbo power. Sundance, unbelievable quality around you. Unbelievable excitement in front of you. Unbelievable price to move you. Plymouth Sundance, the unbelievable American under $7,800.
The pride is back. Born in America. Again.
Aha. There's a thief in this attic. This skimpy amount of insulation can rob you blind on your fuel bill.
Fight back with the attic blanket from Owens Corning. It's the thickest, most powerful roll of pink insulation you can add. It can help you save money on your fuel bill.
It is an open and shut case.
Owens Corning. We put your house in the pink.
An American tradition continues. The 1940s and 50s witnessed the era of the splendid splinter. The 60s and 70s were inspired by the Yaz. Today, slugger Jim Rice fuels the pennant fever for Boston as the Red Sox battle the Blue Jays or the Astros face the Braves. The tradition is here. The memories are waiting.
Kurt Zone's 27-yard punt return, setting up the Jets field goal by Leahy from 32 with 4 minutes 29 seconds remaining in the first quarter here at Giant Stadium. Lorenzo Hampton 27 and the rookie James Pruitt 82 await Leahy's kickoff. Hampton at the 10. Has a seam and is across the 30 to the 32-yard line. Now, we talked about Klecko and Stevenson in that matchup, and when they talk about Stevenson, the center for Miami, they all say he's got great hands. That used to be what they talked about defensive players.
Well, it used to be that the defensive players had their hands as perhaps their only advantage, but now allowing the offensive players to use their hands, and in particular, a man with good, strong, powerful hands and arms. Stevenson neutralizes a lot of the moves of good nose tackles just by getting those hands up quickly and stopping them and making them restart.
And that's for a man, he has to snap the ball and still gets those hands up that quickly. If you get a chance, he'll show you how quick he makes that transition. He'd be a magician. Marino, plenty of time to find Mark Duper, and he's out of bounds at the 45 of New York. Johnny Lynn made the bump. Ticker, bringing you up to date on all the early games around the National Football League.
We talk about quick hands for the center, Dwight Stevenson. Marino's hands, about as quick as any you'll see. Boy, does he smoke that ball out of there in a hurry.
Duper to the left, Clayton near side, Woody Bennett, and Lorenzo Hampton behind Marino. Open again is Duper, and he's inside the Jets 25. Johnny Lynn makes the tackle. Duper has 21 more yards.
Super duper. Boy, is he ever. Amazing size. Look at the size of his thighs and hips. Great power in those legs. Boy, does he have speed. You see him there just looping, getting away, and Marino with a wonderful sense of vision. Boy, he sees what's happening downfield. And when a receiver gets open, that ball is on its way.
Duper at 5'9", was a high school basketball center, can dunk with either hand. Marino already 76 yards, and this will be his 8th pass, his 1500th career pass. And he hits Hampton at the 20. Hampton inside the 10, first and goal Miami. So Dan Marino with his 1500th pass. You need that many attempts to qualify, and is the top rated passer in NFL history. Joe Montana, Roger Staubach a distant third.
Well, and the Dolphins do such a great job of getting the good isolation. They're trying to get the back isolated on Lance Mel here. They're able to do it, and Mel, who's working on a couple of bad ankles, simply no match for the speed of number 27, Lorenzo Hampton. They're down in scoring position.
13 more yards on the last toss. They have nearly the full 10 yards to go on first and goal. 3.5 minutes left first quarter. Marino over the middle. Duper, he wanted interference from Lynn. Make that Carl Howard now, who is in that deep secondary. He has just rejoined the Jets. Played with the Cowboys, Houston, Tampa Bay. Jets out of Rutgers.
They like Howard. In fact, Bud Carson very confident that he is going to be able to fit in. But, boy, when you've been out for a while wandering around and they call you and say, come on back, it takes a while to get back into the swing of things. He was with the Jets earlier in the preseason, cut loose and now reactivated.
Woody Bennett out, so only Hampton behind Marino, and Nat Moore is the third wide receiver. He's lined up tight on the right side. Inside handoff to Hampton did not fool the Jets. He's to the 6-yard line. Marty Lyons. Boy, does he look in great shape. Lyons, the former #1 pick out of Alabama in 1979.
Jets have been giving up yardage against the running game this year. Very tough last year. Third best in the NFL. One of the reasons is because of the the good techniques in that defensive line. Not only some physical players in there, but they play with sound defensive technique. And when you have an anchor like Klecko in the middle, it makes it a lot easier on you.
4 wide receivers, James Pruitt and Clayton on the far side, Moore and Duper on the near side. Jets may have been offside. 3rd and goal. Inside to Pruitt, and the rookie has a touchdown.
Smart move by Pruitt. He was in the doghouse 2 weeks ago, missed the plane out to San Diego, and then dropped 2 passes in that game, one of them for a touchdown. Came back last week with a big catch and a couple of big punt returns, and here he is in a crucial situation, not only making the catch, but then able to stretch that long body out and stick that ball across the goal line. That'll endear him to Coach Don Shula.
4th round draft pick out of Cal State Fullerton. Reve's extra point try is there, and Miami leads for the first time. As they march quickly downfield using the Marino pass, he hits Pruitt for his 2nd NFL touchdown.
In North Carolina, Honda lawnmowers are assembled from the wheels up. Then the final critical step, the Clara Johnson test. If Clara pulls and it starts, it's a Honda.
Ship it. Give me a light. Bud Light. Oh, the chili.
If you just ask for a light beer, you never know what you'll get. Give me a light. Bud Light. So if you want the less filling light beer with the first name and taste, don't just ask for a light beer.
Give me a light. No, Bud Light.
Bud Light. Because everything else is just a light.
His father's an engineer. His father's in sales. His father's a doctor. So's his mother. The parents of these kids have very different jobs, goals, and needs. But no matter who they are or what they do, when Dean Witter helps them manage their investments, they're all treated the same way. They're treated special.
'Cause everybody is somebody at Dean Witter.
A member of the Sears Financial Network.
Sometimes you can be taken for quite a ride when you rent a car one way with steep one-way costs and frightful drop-off charges. But at National, rent one way for just $10 a day over our regular daily rates. So go one way with National.
Searching here for predictions and there for analysis? Oh, the dilemma of choosing the right pregame show. We at NBC Sports suggest you give as much thought to choosing a pregame show as you did when saying, I do. Possibly more. NFL 86, the one you'll choose.
Don Shula has a cleanup hitter in that man, Marino. He produces 41 of 44 games, at least one touchdown pass.
Notice they were reviewing the sheet that Strock keeps on the sideline of what plays they run. They want to know what was working, what wasn't working.
Reves picks off Bobby Humphrey deep for the Jets, but it sails to the far side. Michael Harper, former Southern California running back. Harper does not get to the 20, down at the 17. Crash Jensen. Jim Jensen, the backup quarterback on the special teams. Let's go to NFL 86.
Dick, that orange crush defense that Ahmad talked about on the pregame show strikes again. In Philadelphia, Randall Cunningham to the air, picked off by Mike Harden. 30 yards later, he's in the end zone. And Denver leads at the Vet 12-0 over the Eagles.
And Ahmad Rashad was right on with that Denver defense. Maybe he should pick the games instead of McGuire.
Well, one thing, you win with good defense. You start that march to the championship. The Broncos know that.
O'Brien, the throw, has time and hits Rocky Cleaver over the middle. Tight end is out to the 28-yard line. 11 yards and a first down. Cleaver, who started today with only one catch in the first 2 games, has 2 already in this first period. 2 minutes, 11 seconds left in the quarter. 7-3 Miami.
Jets have been using some double tight end in there, and on that particular play, broke Cleaver up inside. They haven't been able to get the ball as often as they'd like to their other big tight end, Mickey Schuler. Schuler not on the same track as he was last year.
Big the 38-yard line. Dennis Blygen, the all-time St. John's scorer and rusher, and the first of the Redmen to make it in the NFL.
Let's go down into the pits and watch Joe Fields working on number 73, Bob Baumhauer. Look at him as he takes him to the outside and drops on his legs, opening the way for Blygen. That's the kind of play that's an overcommitment by Baumhauer. That's the kind of thing he's got to work himself back out of as he gets into shape.
A little over 10 yards on the carry. Cleaver again in motion, and then comes in to block on Baumhauer. Ooh, my. T.J. Turner of Houston making the hit. A yard gain at best. On the ticker, 3-0 Atlanta scoring. There's the two unbeaten teams down in Dallas. And the Falcons, certainly one of the surprises of this young season. Denver's defense has them a dozen. 7-7 New England comes back in the second at Foxborough. 7-7 the Rams have tied it at Indy. 14-7 Minnesota over Pittsburgh in the first, and Tampa Bay leads in Detroit. Hector ducking through a hole, and Johnny Hector to the 47-yard line. Good gain for Hector of 7 yards.
Nick, John Offerdahl is so quick from his linebacking position on that last play, reading in the backfield. Watch him, number 56. Look how he reads it quickly, shoots inside, stacks the blocker right there. That's Tony Page, knocks him on his back. A little too aggressive. The ball carrier able to cut in behind that, still found room to run. But you see there the very physical nature of that young rookie.
John Offerdahl, the number 2 draft pick of the Dolphins, and already calling defensive signals for Shula as a rookie. And that is the end of the first quarter here at Giants Stadium, with the Dolphins leading 7-3.
Ramada wants to know what makes John Madden mad.
Let's replay what happened the last time you tried to check out of a hotel. A slow desk clerk causes a 3 salesman pileup. Boom! You shift formations. Flaps! The computer goes berserk. Then you get penalized 15 minutes for unnecessary charges. But don't get mad. Get Ramada. They do everything possible to make your checkout fast and smooth. So you won't get a delay a game. Next time, Ramada.
Call 1-800-2-RAMADA.
This is Coach Joe Walton of the New York Jets. You know, the Jets do more than just play football. We're really a part of our community. And that's why all the members of the Jet family are involved in this United Way youth program. We know that drugs and alcohol abuse among teenagers is on the increase. And this kind of program, one-on-one, is the best way I know of to help them make the right choices. These are beautiful, young, healthy kids. Sometimes it's hard to see the problems they face in their young lives. By getting involved, you can help kids make important choices that can influence their futures.
We learned a lot about teamwork out here today, and I guess that's what the United Way is all about. Thanks to you, it works. For all of us, the United Way.
This message furnished by the National Football League.
Walton's only win last year against Miami here at Giant Stadium. His dad, Tiger, was a player in the NFL going way back and a coach with the Steelers. And his son, they've nicknamed him Tiger, as a junior high school quarterback. Both head coaches have young sons who are quarterbacks. One in college, Mike Shula, and Joe Walton said his youngster is 14 and he's already 6 feet 2 inches tall as a quarterback in junior high. Jets with a good drive. Look at 3rd and 1.5. Have a man open. Hector, first down. Miami 43. Hugh Green ran him out of bounds. It's been a good march for the Jets. Let's look at the statistics, Merlin.
Time of possession favoring the Jets in both games last year. A big edge for the Jets in that department. Yardage favoring the Dolphins, as you might expect, with their success over the passing lanes. They have not done much with the rushing attack. Of course, they haven't run the ball that often.
No, they haven't. I wonder why. Boy, that's just it's like unlocking the candy store to give Marino a chance to shoot those bullets against such a wounded deep secondary.
Let's drop this note in that the telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League, intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the New York Jets and the National Football League is prohibited.
Looking for a brief moment at Reggie McElroy, right tackle now, used to be on the left-hand side. They're very pleased at the results. They're moving that young man from the left side to the right side.
Apparently, they were having trouble with the 30-second clock. That was the reason for the delay. In fact, the 10-second clock, for 30 seconds, now it's 30. It was at 10.
Starting out on its own now. Well, that's the way it should be. Shula says, okay, that's all right with me. Now the clock counting down. Well, they're winding it down to 10 seconds. What are they doing here?
We're going to find out. Okay. I guess at 14 they decided that's where the time was. Wesley Walker in motion to the inside. First down play and the give to Hector. Hector making a little out of a tough situation. Jackie Shipp had him shut off along with Brodzinski. Offerdahl finished the tackle. And Hugh Green is down on the far side of the field, holding his right thigh. And knee.
Oof. That's something you don't want to see. Certainly the most physical of those linebackers, perhaps with the exception of Offerdahl, quickly out to look at him.
He appeared to be all by himself out there, Merlin.
Well, Dick, one of the things that this turf does, it tends to grab your feet, and occasionally you can get hurt just driving on your own.
We'll check on the welfare of Hugh Green when we return.
Mercedes-Benz was building sports sedans before there was such a term as sports sedan. Experience pays. The Mercedes-Benz 190 class. The heart of a sports sedan. The soul of a Mercedes-Benz. The 190 class. Something more than a sports sedan. Nothing less than a Mercedes-Benz.
Connie, Mom said we could charge Dad's birthday present with our Ace credit card, so long as it's under $5.
Well, the Ace Circular has our September Best Buys. After a $2 rebate, this paint roller and tray set is 44 cents.
Great, but Mom does the painting.
Or 30 Ace lawn and leaf bags for just $2.66.
But Mom does the artwork.
Well, how about this firefighter kitchen fire extinguisher? It's only $3.44 after rebate.
Great! Dad tries to cook. Ace is the place with the helpful hardware man.
You might be able to make it on your old antifreeze another year, but then again, you just might find yourself left out in the cold. Driving just 10,000 miles on weak, neglected antifreeze can cause freeze-up and make a radiator look this bad, while the Prestone radiator looks this good. So, for maximum protection, don't push your luck. Change it once a year, every year, with fresh Prestone.
Today's game is brought to you by Mercedes-Benz, engineered like no other car in the world. By McDonald's, it's a good time for the great taste. And by Radio Shack, a division of Tandy Corporation.
Well, here at Giant Stadium, the concern is for number 55, Hugh Green. You heard Don Shula on NFL 86 comment that his defense was stronger. One of the main reasons they have Hugh Green now. At this time last year, he was at Tampa Bay. But will they have Green for long? The stretcher used to take him off. It appeared that Green was totally away from the play and just caught his shoes on this AstroTurf, and down he went.
Sometimes the traction is just too good on the AstroTurf fields or the artificial turf fields, and whereas a grass field is forgiving, your cleats will tend to twist in the grass and relieve the pressure. Occasionally on a turf like this, the cleats lock up and you can't get them loose, and you literally tear that knee apart or injure the leg with the weight of your own body and the force of a quick move to the inside or the outside. That may well be what happened to Hugh Green on that play.
It was totally away from the play, and of course our cameras were all focused on the ball as it came to the right side. Much like Kyle Clifton, he turned his knee, the Jets linebacker, against New England their last game. Al Toon on an end around, gets to the 40-yard line, a gain of 2 for the wide receiver from Wisconsin. 14 minutes left in the half. Here's NFL 86.
Dick, check out this play in Philadelphia. The punter is John Telchik of the Eagles. Now, it's a fake, but he throws it up in the air to make it appear to be a punt. The Denver players peeling back don't realize it. The call is illegal contact by Gerald Wilhite, not pass interference. 5-yard penalty, gave the Eagles a first down. Confused?
Buddy Ryan.
That's a buddy trick.
3rd down and 7 for the Jets. O'Brien. Tatum. Fumbles. Did they get it in bounds? No, out of bounds, and it remains in the possession of the Jets as Al Toon has the first down at the Miami 25.
What a great target he is for O'Brien. O'Brien likes to lead his receivers downfield. Let's go in and see what kind of time he has to throw. Doug Benner, 75, trying to break that pocket on the inside. But O'Brien, with time to throw, gets that into the hands of Toon. Look at that ball. Kicked out of bounds, unfortunately.
Yes, Offerdahl, actually his foot unintentionally knocked it out of bounds, and that was a break for the Jets.
Defensive player must control that football. You can't just bounce it out of bounds and expect it to come back into your hands.
Jets trailing 7-3 early in the second quarter. Wide open is Rocky Cleaver. He's at the 10. He's at the 5.
It was Rocky Cleaver that capped that great drive that O'Brien put together in Miami last year that put them ahead with seconds left to go, only to watch Marino and Duper take the game out of their hands. But here's Cleaver again, fighting for that extra. Look at that. 2 guys, and they still couldn't put him down.
Took the whole Miami secondary to drag him down. 1st and goal at the 4-yard line. As Cleaver, who's a tight end, special teams, emergency quarterback, he and Jim Jensen, the common denominator.
I think so. The 2 most versatile players, perhaps, in the entire NFL.
Jets trying to take the lead with 12.5 minutes left, second quarter. 4 shots from the 4. O'Brien will pass on 1st down. No one open. Threw it away. Flag down.
A very late flag. And Rocky Cleaver pointing it out, saying that Mike Kozlowski had interfered with him.
Defensive pass interference in the end zone.
Well, that penalty will take it to the 1-yard line, 1st and goal.
Rocky Cleaver here in isolation. And watch Kozlowski, number 40, coming right from the left-hand side of your picture. And he's going to make the contact before the ball is thrown. Look at that. No question about it. The ball actually thrown late, but that is further downfield than 5 yards. It's illegal contact.
Now they mark it at the 1-yard line, and with it a 1st down on the interference call. Don Shula preaches no penalties. In this case, Kozlowski figured that if he didn't hit the wide receiver or the tight end Cleaver, it would have been a touchdown.
They called it interference, Dick. They put it on the 1-yard line.
Hector, touchdown. Joe Walton's Jets with a very impressive drive to match the previous scoring rampage of Miami. 9-7, and Leahy's try for the point after, and Shula John with somebody.
He's never happy when he sees a team move down the field that way.
Leahy makes it 10-7. 83 yards in 10 plays, 5 minutes plus, and Johnny Hector, number 34, subbing for the injured Freeman McNeil, gives the Jets the lead with his 1-yard scoring run.
8 long years of development have created the Mercedes-Benz 300E. It moves from 0 to 55 in a stunning 7.5 seconds. It moves performance German sedan engineering into a new dimension. And it returns to zero with computerized ABS anti-lock brakes. The 300e sedan.
Welcome to the new world, where all the rules have changed. A world of financial expertise to manage cash, build IRAs, finance mortgages, and a world of insurance protection for lives, health, and property. It's the world of the travelers, one of America's strongest diversified insurance and financial experts. Have you looked under the traveler's umbrella lately?
Telecommunications simply means making a connection. Me to you, A to B. When that meant creating a communications network 22,000 miles above the Earth, they called Contel. When it meant a 16 phone system at the Omaha headquarters of Vic's Corn Popper, they called Contel. Small business, a tall order. Contel can help you communicate better, too. For Contel, I'm Charlton Heston.
Next Sunday, the NFL plays here when the Seahawks battle the Redskins.
Before your team takes the field, our team hits the air. NFL 86.
Pat Leahy has it teed up. Lorenzo Hampton and James Pruitt. Pruitt, the touchdown maker on the 6-yard pass from Marino on their last possession. It comes to the near side. Leahy drills it. Deep, Hampton, and he won't run it out. They'll take it at the 20-yard line. Let's check on the scores. Guess that ticker's hibernation. There it is.
Oh, wait a minute.
Okay.
Here it comes.
That's a 10-minute ticker plus 10 seconds. Buffalo leading 10-0 against St. Louis, and Dallas's Danny White hits Thornton Chandler a 3-yard touchdown pass. New England has taken the lead against Seattle. The Rams with 2 quick touchdowns now lead 21-7. Minnesota, a 10-point lead over Pittsburgh, and Tampa Bay, 2 touchdowns over Detroit. Here it is 10-7, Jets leading Miami. 12 minutes exactly left in the first half. Marino goes to work. Didn't take him long to score the last time they had the ball. Woody Bennett, nothing. Flags are down. Let's go back to the touchdown scored by Johnny Hector.
A couple of things to look for on this touchdown as you look at the holding call against Miami. Let's look quickly. Watch the pull by Alexander here, who's going to trap. Joe Fields, the center, is going to cut over here to get the play.
Number 74, offense, still first down.
There's Fields cutting down 2 men. You see 60 Alexander on the outside, and there inside, a beautiful block by number 81 Briggs. Look at that power by Hector. He is excited about an opportunity to come in again, as he has before, to substitute for an injured Freeman McNeil, and he's doing a fine job in there today.
Now, is there any play, I imagine every coach in the country, as you saw Merlin draw that play, is there anything like the off-tackle play in terms of just drawing it up and seeing it executed?
When you get blocking like that, you don't see it any better.
Intercepted by Lester Lyles. Lyles at the 20. He's down at the 19, and the Jets are in business. Dan Marino pressured out of the pocket, stepped up, and then misfired. And Lyles, the second-year back from Virginia, has his first interception.
The Jets feel if they can get pressure in Marino's face, they can force him to make the bad play. Lyles gets a little stick right there on Clayton. The ball underthrown as Marino was taking the heat. And Lyles gathers it up, and although he's got a bad ankle, he runs pretty well on that play.
So leading 10-7, O'Brien first down at the Miami 19. Hector. Ooh, he hit at the 15-yard line. Coming up from the secondary, Bud Brown and William Judson. A reminder, our viewers will be selecting the Budweiser Most Valuable Player today's game at the conclusion of this contest from Giant Stadium. Gain of 4.5 for Hector.
Mark Brown has replaced Hugh Green on the right right-hand linebacking position defensively. Left-hand for, as you would face it, for a Jet player.
He wears 51, and they're running at him. They did the last play. Tune in motion. O'Brien stepping up. Hitting his tight end again. Mickey Schuler inside the 10.
Schuler's first catch of the day. They've been going to Cleaver. The key to that play was the amount of time that they were able to get for Ken O'Brien. That was a high emphasis item for the new line coach, Rad Radakovich. And you see here, they really had to have all day. Schuler was open, and boy, he caught the back end of that football. That is concentration.
Oh, that was a sizzler thrown by O'Brien at short range. And Schuler showing great hands. Almost squirted all the way through. First and goal. Jets. Hector up the middle. Hector, touchdown. Intercepts. Hector 5-yard run. Schuler 6-yard pass. Hector 8 yards up the middle. And it's now 16-7. And Schuler unhappy as he prowls the sideline. Left in the first half here at Giant Stadium, and this partisan crowd delighted by Johnny Hector's 2 touchdowns, a 10-point lead.
Like many before, you came here asking for just one thing.
Sadowski. Shibowski.
A chance.
Pronounced Shibowski. You're gonna make it here, 'cause you make America work, and this fight's for you.
Here's to you. Beechwood Age for that clean, crisp taste that says Budweiser.
This Bud's for you.
This year, 1 out of every 6 cars will need to have its brakes repaired. That's why at Midas, we offer a free brake inspection. If your car needs work, you know it's being done by experts. 500,000 people a year have their brakes fixed at Midas, and we're glad to have the business. But more important, we appreciate the trust.
Take it to Midas. Take it to someone you trust.
Power your business software into a new dimension with the Tandy 3000 computer. Important data is only milliseconds away from an advanced 286 microprocessor that delivers high-speed performance and PC compatibility. You can add up to 12 million bytes of memory and expand by sharing that power with others in your office. Discover the Tandy 3000 family of value-priced business computers at Radio Shack Computer Centers.
Next Sunday, the NFL plays here when the Patriots battle the Broncos.
Before your team takes the field, our team hits the air. NFL 86.
In less than 2 minutes, the Jets have 14 points. Both on Hector scores from 1 and 8 yards, and Leahy kicks it off with a 17-7 Jets lead. And Leahy into the end zone to Hampton. Hampton stopped at the 12-yard line, and it's suddenly the Jets who are doing everything right. Bobby Humphrey and Matt Munger make the tackle. Let's go back to Hector's score.
Again, you'll see the guard pull. Alexander pulling, getting a lead block in here. But the key to the play is the fact that Hector is able to cut back against the grain. And Bob Baumhauer, the nose tackle, overruns the play. But watch the cutback by Hector here as he slides inside and just with pure power pulls out of the hands of a couple of prospective tacklers.
We talk about the door just being open, ajar, just a little crack, and Hector dancing his way in. First down, Marino at his own 12. Hampton, second year back from Florida, across the 15, close to the 17 before Clifton and Jackson can make the tackle. Jets leading 17-7. Buffalo a 10-point lead. Atlanta now moves back in front at Irving, Texas. Denver 19-0 big at Philly. New England a 3-point lead against Seattle. Battle of unbeatens there. Rams by 2 touchdowns at Indianapolis. 17-7 Minnesota, and Tampa Bay 14-0 against the Lions. 2nd and 4. Marino going deep. Clayton 50, and Clayton to the Jets 40 as he beats Lyles. 42 yards unofficially to Mark Clayton in his 4th year out of Louisville.
Clayton is bumped early on the play by number 28, Carl Howard. Howard, who's expecting help deep, is not there to make the play, but it looked like they were expecting Lyles to get there a little more quickly. Either that or they didn't expect Clayton to get there that quickly.
Or they expected Howard to do a better job of bumping him off.
Got to tell you that Clayton actually outlifted Mark Gastineau in the Superstars competition. He lifted 305 in a military lift at Gastineau's 295.
That
embarrassed you. How can you think about that for a second?
He's an athlete. 5'9" and 175, lifting almost twice his weight. Marino over the middle, complete. Clayton again. And a flag down, and they may tack on some extra against the Jets.
Face mask call.
Shooting fish in a barrel. Marino.
Number 47.
Holmes. Harry Holmes. A little extra help on Clayton.
Very difficult to work against a timing pattern like this, and that's exactly what it is. It's the quick slant. And this is something that the Miami Dolphins do so well anyway. There's the face mask call. Not really using it as a tackling device, but when you get your hand on a mask, you can expect a flag in the air. Holmes, of course, came back to the Jets from the USFL. His first practice blew out his ankle. And that's something that the Jets have had a great deal of. Joe Walton said, look at that, 1 day. He's here 1 day. Already he's got ankle disease.
And Russell Carter, the starting cornerback, was one of the few healthy ones. He's been injured and is out of the game for the Jets. And Marino looks at a first down at the New York 22. Over the middle, Duper to the 1-yard line. A flag down as Holmes makes the tackle. And we'll check the call. There is another flag down closer to the line of scrimmage.
Dolphin players motioning that it's against the Jets, and if so, it certainly will be waved off.
Illegal use of hands. First down.
They'll decline that penalty and take the ball at the 1-yard line, 1st and goal.
Here you see Bud Carson with the headset, right-hand side of your picture, just shaking his head, and I'm sure what he's hoping for is some kind of healthy revival. There is Holmes man-on-man on Duper. Carson likes to send his cornerbacks in a bump-and-run situation, and I'll tell you that's tough. When you get wide receivers with the kind of speed that the Miami Dolphins have, they can give you fits.
Full backfield, Davenport, Bennett, and Hampton all in there. And it's Ron Davenport, stopped at the line of scrimmage. Kyle Clifton, 59, former TCU star. They scramble after the loose ball.
I think they're fighting for the ball, but I think it is after the whistle. But down there in the trenches, you don't know. You see that ball loose.
The ball is over in the 1-yard line. Look at the mass there. And if you go look a little to the left, there's the ball just sitting right where they weren't going for the ball. They're going after each other. Like a hockey game for a moment.
These teams, and again, when you play against a team as often as these two play, you develop some very intense personal rivalries.
Tony Nathan into the Miami backfield. Gastineau urging this New York crowd to make it tough on Marino on 2nd and goal at the 1. Jets tough against that run.
Well, they better be tough here. Their feet are in the end zone.
They like to throw the little swing to Nathan, who's an excellent receiver. Instead, it's the tight end. Touchdown, Dan Johnson. Johnson with his first touchdown of the new season. his third catch.
So much confidence in that passing game and the ability of Marino to get the ball on target, and receivers with sure hands. Shula never afraid to use the pass instead of the run in a short yardage situation. You see Bennett, number 34, in motion. He was kind of cutting off some of those bodies, but it was a well-executed quick turnout to the tight end.
Now in less than 10 minutes, we've had 4 touchdowns scored. Back and forth, and now Revés to try the point after. And the second-year man from Bogota, Colombia. He went down home to Bogota in the offseason and did the voice on Super Bowl 20. We've been replaced again. Let's go to NFL 86.
Well, Dick, the buddy system is not working in Philadelphia today. On a tackle-eligible play, John Elway finds Dave Studdard for the 2-yard score. For Elway, his 6th touchdown pass of the season. Late in the second quarter, 19-zip Broncos. Back to Dick and Merlin.
New York Jets leading 17-14, but Marino has moved his team very quickly. The interception, the difference. Here's the touchdown play, a little play action. Marino all the way was going to his tight end Johnson, who made a quick out move and was wide open.
They love the mismatch when they can get a receiver, even a tight end, singled up on a linebacker. They feel it's their advantage because they know that Marino is one of the most accurate passers in all of football. Quick release, no chance to really cover any ground and close that cushion on the receiver. And Don Shula, who calls all the plays for Miami, with a great sense of what will work and what won't work. He is a big plus in that situation.
Now Marino, on the 2 scoring drives, it took him only a minute 53 in the first drive to go 67, and that last drive 88 yards in just 2 minutes 24 seconds. And the deep kick will not be run out by JoJo Townsell. First down at the 20. And with 10 minutes gone by, a check to the score. New England now by 10 over Seattle. And possibly, Merlin, we're going to be out at Mile High Stadium next Sunday. We could see 2 unbeaten teams, New England and Denver. That could be a most interesting matchup at plenty of time to go. 17-14. Jets with the ball and the lead. Hector smothered this time as Mark Brown, number 51, invaded the Jets' backfield.
George Little, defensive end on the right-hand side, also in there very quickly, and the two of them just swallowed up that running play. Jets really want to run that football. They count on establishing the running game because they love the play-action passing, which is O'Brien's long suit, really.
Second down, 10. And Hector on the ground. Wrapped up at the 21-yard line. Good pursuit. Brodzinski, 59, along with Offerdahl, the rookie middle linebacker. NFL 86.
Thanks again, Dick. After spotting the Seahawks a 7-0 lead, the Patriots come back and lead 17-7 after the veteran Stanley Morgan beats Dave Brown of the Seahawks and hauls in this 27-yarder from Tony Eason. Late in the second, Pats 17, Seahawks 7.
Morgan, who had 8 catches and over 100 yards in the win against the Jets here a week ago Thursday. Hot again. 3rd and 8. O'Brien, deep. Intercepted by Don McNeil on the bounce, and McNeil is inside the Jets' 15. McNeil from Alabama, his 13th career interception. And again, one of those balls bouncing around.
JoJo Townsell, the intended receiver, and this one goes right through his hands. O'Brien has the ball on target, although it is high. Let's talk about that briefly. But a great job of juggling there as McNeil shows his reactions. Has missed a lot of time with injuries. Comes back strong on that play. Johnny Hector there to make the stop downfield. But Miami, after coming roaring down the field with an excellent opportunity to go ahead in this ballgame.
They trail 17-14. First down at the 13 of the Jets. 17-yard return by McNeil. Woody Bennett. Lance Snell, the welcoming party.
We had a chance to hear on our pregame show a little bit about Woody's plight. Upset about the way negotiations are going. Said he may not even play in this game, but it was something he didn't want to do. He's a young man who wants to play football, and he feels like he's caught in the middle.
Yeah, as you heard Don Shula related yesterday, you really sensed a lot of empathy on the part of Shula that it has been frustrating for Bennett. He just wants to get it. It's that unknown. He wants to get it settled.
Well, that's hard on any player, especially one who's conscientious.
Second down, a long 10. Marino going for 6. Duper has a touchdown. There would have been a penalty anyway. Duper fading into the near corner against Carl Howard.
Marino again showing that excellent vision.
Illegal contact. Defense declines. Touchdown is good.
And some hard jaws on the other side of the field that belong to Bud Carson, defensive coordinator. There you see the bumping going on that last play. Carl Howard, no question about that, didn't bother Duper as he was able to bring both feet down just barely in bounds. There you see one of the Marks brothers. I got to tell you, defensively, when you can put that kind of speed on the field and stretch a defense, it scares you to death.
Al Duper set a Miami record with something like 215 yards. 217 against the Jets last year. Reves adds the extra point. It's 21-17. He already has, Duper has 91 yards in the first half on 5 catches and a touchdown today.
Credit that Miami line. If you see the containment in the middle on Joe Klecko, they were able to keep Gastineau out from the other side. There's the tap dance by Duper down the sideline. Let's watch his feet, Dick. See, it looked to me in the first replay that there was no question about having both of them down. 1 foot down.
You can't. Well,
I believe it is. You can see a little touch of black there, but that's when I said tap dance, toe dance. There it is. You see the toe just barely in a slight touch of black there. If they were looking at that, Tony Vitteri's probably over there saying, hey, we got that one right, guys.
He would have had it with a naked eye. He's one of the best.
Yeah. There's Marino on the sideline.
Well, let's see. Marino's taken 1 minute 53 seconds to score. Then he went 88 yards in 2:24. Needed 45 seconds to take advantage of McNeil's interception and another quick 7. So with 5 minutes 6 seconds left in the half, 21-17, and Dwight Stevenson being attended to that left side.
You saw him controlling Klecko with help on that last play, and that's so important for the Dolphins offense.
Reves, high spinner at the goal line. Bobby Humphrey has a seam. Ooh, couldn't quite squirt through. And look at it, 4 Dolphins down, and the last one nicked him, Mike Kozlowski.
Humphrey, who so impressed the coaches on the Jets staff with his aggressiveness on special teams, has been moved from wide receiver to defensive back. They have high hopes for him.
Well, we talked about the injuries suffered by the Jets throughout the course of the preseason and the first 2 games, and there is that MASH list, and Carter hurt again today. Johnny Hector on a little swing and diving to the 39-yard line, and a first down. Hector, not exactly a long jump technique, but that was his forte in college. He was a 26-foot long jumper. In fact, in the Southwest Conference, finished second one year to a young man named Carl Lewis in Houston.
Dick, I don't think Hector is as nifty at avoiding tacklers before you get to the line of scrimmage as is Freeman McNeil, but he is a better runner once he breaks into the open.
Hector gets the call again. Look at that. Ran into a crack, kept right on going. Finally, Brzezinski nailed him at the 43-yard line.
You mentioned that if you want to beat Miami's defense, you have to be able to run that football.
50 yards now for Johnny Hector, who has given a breather, and the Dolphins have rushed only 5 yards. Now they really haven't tried much, only 6 rushes, with Marino finding all kinds of room to throw.
Hector finally getting a break on the sideline. He's playing an awful lot of football.
Tony Page and Dennis Blygen, two fullbacks in, and O'Brien in trouble. Down he goes from the grasp of Mark Brown, and a flag is down as well. Reggie McElroy may have been holding.
Got his head down a little bit. T.J. Turner pushing from the outside. Rookie giving him a lot of heat.
Holding, number 68, offense, declined, third down.
You got the 10 yards and the loss of down anyway. Now they declined the hold on McElroy, and from the 35-yard line it'll be third down and 13.
That's still one area where Marino has a big edge over O'Brien, and that's in the ability to do something when the play breaks down. Marino just with a better sense, I think, of what's happening downfield, but that's something that O'Brien, I think, will grow in as he gets more experience.
He needs 13. He's going. He's wide open. Wesley Walker. The Jets have taken the lead again. Oh, my. Walker was 15 yards in the clear.
Did a great job on that play of looking off the defense, looking to his left, and then turning back, and without batting an eyelash, firing that ball deep. We'll show you the replay momentarily, but look at Shula, who is frustrated. I'm sure what happened is Brown, who's playing back there in that safety position, read the quarterback's eyes, went to his right, only to turn back around and see Walker deep behind him.
Definitely somebody made a mistake in that secondary, blew the coverage, because Walker was all by himself. Leahy adds the extra point. It's like a ping pong match. 3 minutes and 12 seconds left in the half, and the Jets are back in front, 24-21.
Let's look at O'Brien. Now watch him. He'll have his eyes to the left. Watch him here. Looking left, and then snaps back and fires the ball. Able to pull Bud Brown off on that play, and Wesley Walker, who has been nursing supposedly a hamstring injury all week, looked pretty fast on that one.
He could have scored walking on his hands. He was that far open.
Blew by Paul Langford, who's expecting deep help. Nobody home.
Walker looking around as if to say, somebody ought to be closer. Was there a mistake? Is this one going to count? Chuck Studley, the defensive coordinator of the Dolphins. Walker a groin pull in practice this week, but he could run half speed and score on that kind of an opening.
In fact, they held him out of practice for the last part of the week, but strictly a precautionary measure. He knew he was going to be in there today, and what an impact.
35 points scored in the second quarter. Jets lead 24-21. 3 minutes, 9 seconds left. Here comes Hampton. And Lorenzo down at the 24-yard line. Bobby Humphrey made the tackle. Yeah, all the scoring right here at Giant Stadium. Halftime, Buffalo leads 10-0. Dallas has taken the lead 14-13 on a Timmy Newsome 2-yard run. Denver big at Philadelphia. New England still up by 10, and the Rams lead by 2 touchdowns at Indy. 10-point lead Minnesota, and at halftime Tampa Bay 11 over the Lions.
The one thing you know about the Miami Dolphins is that with Marino and with all of that speed, they can come back so quickly. Here you see the comparison of the two quarterbacks today. Numbers excellent for both quarterbacks. Much of that yardage for O'Brien in that last play.
Marino to Hampton. Ooh, we saw his helmet just snap back as he was hit. Marty Lyons. Whew.
And that's great pursuit to see those defensive linemen chasing the quarterback. Ball goes over their heads, and they want a piece of that tackle. Watch the end of the play here. You see the little toss to Lorenzo Hampton. He gets into traffic, coming from the left-hand side of your screen, right there. Whap! Boy, I'll tell you, that's a sandwich job.
First down, 17 yards for Hampton. Well executed pass by Marino. And It's Stan Johnson who has a touchdown, and Kyle Clifton with a tackle out at the 46-yard line, close to another first down.
We talked about the comparison of these two quarterbacks, and another comparison. Marino can throw with his feet in any position. O'Brien has to set up.
First down again.
Whoops.
Down goes
I don't know if he can throw from there.
No. About the only place he can in the 2-minute timeout at 1:58, and Marino trying to hurry to get a play off before that 2-minute timeout, and actually maybe Hayes did make waste for the Dolphins.
Looked like he hooked the foot of one of his guards, or perhaps his center, and he's limping a little bit. Marino has bad knees, and you see how big those knees are. Well, that's not knee. He wears a knee brace in there. You can see part of that hanging out. Let's see if we can see what happens. There's the guard right there. Stepped on the back of his foot. Roy Foster, 61, nailed him, took him down.
The Mercedes-Benz Driving Simulator, a laboratory that moves. Computerized hydraulics producing realistic driving forces. Computerized projectors creating a lifelike driving world. Allowing engineers to analyze the responses of ordinary drivers in extraordinary moments. Duplicating any driving situation in total safety. Mercedes-Benz continues to learn the secrets of automotive science. And the automotive world continues to learn from Mercedes-Benz.
This season, McDonald's is getting you into the game.
Heard about McDonald's kickoff payoff game? No. How do you play?
Collect and trade cards of your favorite NFL stars.
I got his card. I got his card. His card. I got his card.
Each kickoff payoff card's a winner. Win a McDonald's sandwich, fries, or Coca-Cola.
But get off your duff. The card's just good for 1 week. Oh, yeah? It's a good time for the great taste.
NFL kickoff payoff.
Oh, McDonald's!
Peter! Where's the package?
Your express company doesn't know. Nobody knows.
Hold it. If you'd used Federal Express, you wouldn't be having this problem. Come with me.
Our customer service centers are the most sophisticated in the business. Here's all the information about your package.
Uh-huh.
So we can tell you its exact status within 30 minutes or your money back.
Uh-huh.
Next time, call Federal Express. Why fool around with anyone else?
I should have called Federal. I don't know why I didn't call Federal. Nobody knows.
Stay with us at halftime. NFL 86 scores and highlights. It'll take them a whole halftime just to have the highlights of this game.
We have had some action here. The two teams really getting at it here today. Wholesale changes.
Takes out the bulk and puts in the wide receivers.
Changes for the defense as well. And
Marino. Lots of time, and Duper unable to get to the ball. He was covered by Davlin Mullen. He's playing injured.
Both these sidelines and the coaches really alert to that kind of thing. A quick change of personnel, which means you might be outmanned on the field. And you saw how quickly the Jets countered with their own personnel in that situation. They were able to just barely get Barry Bennett, number 78, off the field. He's sprinting for that sideline. And, of course, if the ball is snapped before he gets there, it's a penalty with too many men on the field.
Third down, 17. Jets lead 24-21. 1 minute, 53 seconds, as you can see, remaining in the first half. Marino buying some time. He has the completion, but far short of the first down as Kyle Clifton makes the hit on the rookie James Pruitt. Fourth down, and Miami will have to give up the ball. The clock is running. The Jets are not using a timeout, and they have all three.
Called it.
A lot of fans here are calling it. Of course, Miami will just let that clock tick away. It was at 1:38 when they could have called time, and there's still 20 seconds on the 30-second clock.
Well, maybe they figure it's a trade-off. They'll use the timeouts to get it stopped later.
Roby spirals it. Zone. He's had one fine return, but not this time. He's down at the 16-yard line with 1:07.
Excellent special teams play by Mike Smith, number 25, down there to tackle Zone. You see Joe Walton sending the play in with his quarterback right here.
1:07 left in the half. The Jets trying to add to the three-point lead.
The Achievers, those who faced adversity and refused to fail, sponsored by the U.S. Army. Defensive end Greg Brown was supporting his family with a construction job when an old college coach gave his name to the Eagles, who agreed to look at Brown. but he weighed only 220 pounds. The coach was not impressed.
The first thing he said, my guys are like 265, 270. He said, you're going to get killed.
That coach's warning did not scare Greg Brown.
I told him that if he could get me a trial, I would take care of the rest.
You're reaching deep inside you, so things you've never known. It's been tough, rough going, but you haven't gone alone.
We do more before 9 a.m. than most people do all day.
All that you can
Hey,
be.
First Sergeant. Good morning.
Find your future in the Army.
Pat Leahy, who has a field goal in this game, the difference. But he's a long way from the uprights at the moment as the ball is back at the Jets' 16-yard line. We'll see how Joe Walton plays it. Will he play it safe? He's got 3 timeouts in 107. Fearful that maybe 3 incomplete passes would give Miami and Marino a chance to get the lead at the half. Will he stay on the ground or will he throw it? We're about to find out. Over the middle, the Schuler incomplete, covered by Paul Langford.
T.J. Turner coming in from his left defensive end position to put some heat on O'Brien on that play. They're
X-raying Hugh Green's kneecap, we understand, and that was injury to the kneecap.
Right knee. And we have no final report on that, but he certainly is not returned to the field. And anytime you go off on a stretcher, you've got to be concerned.
Swings it out of the backfield, incomplete to Blygen. And 59 seconds left. So here's a case where Joe Walton almost couldn't win. If he runs out the clock, they're going to boo him for not trying to get more. If he throws 3 incomplete passes and Miami gets the ball, they're going to have time to take the lead.
Well, one thing you do know is that you don't want to turn the ball over. So the passes he's thrown have both been high percentage passes. One to the tight end and O'Brien throwing it down low so that Schuler couldn't get it. The defense couldn't either. And that particular little swing, again, high percentage pass. Third down. Let's see what he does here.
Third and 10 stays in the ground to Hector. Boom. Terrific hit at the 17-yard line, and Miami immediately calls time with 51 seconds. Now 50 seconds left.
Paul Langford, number 44, leveling Hector on that play, and we may see the Dolphins go after this punt.
They're going to get pretty good field position, Merlin, even with a decent punt.
Certainly with Marino, again, we relate to the kind of speed he has to deal with. Looking, I believe, at Don Shula and his son David right behind him, talking to the wide receivers and secondary.
Dave Jennings running for only the second time. He had a 48-yarder his first time. Return James Pruitt. Remember last week against Indianapolis, Pruitt took one back 71 yards for a touchdown and had another punt for 35 yards that he returned.
That one almost broke for a TD too, so he is dangerous.
They have 10 men on the line of scrimmage. Jennings will deliver from around his 9-yard line. Spiral, fair catch for Pruitt, runs into his own man, and the Jets have the football. It can't be returned, although Matt Munger will go all the way to the 2-yard line. That you cannot advance the ball. That's a muff, not a fumble. It cannot be advanced, but apparently will be the Jets' ball at midfield.
Now the question is, did that ball strike the receiver? It would appear that it may have done. There was a collision on the sideline and an awareness problem, and yes, it did. It bounced off the receiver. Let's watch what happened on that last play as Pruitt, with his concentration on the ball, runs into one of his blockers who was not aware of where he was on the field. Right there. That's Thompson, number 24, Renee Thompson, streaking down. Thompson, the one who pulled Munger down from behind. But Pruitt, with his concentration on the ball, didn't feel him there. Collision, ball goes over to the Jets.
Big break for New York. It appeared that the ball hit Thompson's hand after Pruitt ran over his teammate's back. So a little extra present for the Jets and Coach Joe Walton. 42 seconds left in the half, and they have it at their own 49.
Here's another angle of that play, and you see that, oh, the ball hit the hand. Rene Thompson's hand as he stuck it out there. The ball bounced away from his hand.
Bryant going deep for Walker. Wesley Walker scores again. Pyrotechnics offensively in this first half, and there's going to be some fireworks down in Shula's locker room at the intermission. 2 catches for Wesley Walker, 2 touchdowns, 115 yards, 65 and now 50 yards on the scores. Leahy gets another, and certainly a gift touchdown for the Jets, who move up 31-21.
A pass right in the seam, perfectly thrown by O'Brien to Wesley Walker, who's between 2 defenders. And in this kind of situation, at least you've got to get the man down. Langford misses there, and then goodbye Wesley. He simply outruns Don McNeil to the goal line.
Well, Marino has 34 seconds.
Beautiful pass.
O'Brien, an absolutely perfect strike, and Walker with all that speed dances in with another.
And listen to this crowd.
Now Lyle's pass interception early in the quarter triggered a quick touchdown as he returned to the 19, and now the recovered muff at midfield leads to a 1-pass, 1-play, 50-yard score.
And I'm sure that Chuck Studley on the sideline trying to figure out how in the world he's going to get his defense back together faced with the additional loss of Hugh Green. He's got to be a very unhappy man at the moment.
Dan Marino says, hey, 34 seconds. A couple more touchdowns could be scored before we hear the gun. That ties the Jets record, 28 points in a quarter. Hampton at the 5. Lorenzo Hampton fumble. No, they roll. The ball was down at the 27-yard line. 30 seconds for Marino.
You don't want to look away from the field, Dick. You're going to miss the big plays.
52 points scored in the second quarter. You see it again.
Oh, my.
Oh, he was losing control of the ball. It would appear that could have gone as a fumble.
And with the book under his arm, Larry Pasquale, the coach of the special teams for the Jets, excited, I'm sure, by the play of his troops.
Doesn't tie a record. That establishes the most productive 15 minutes in Jets history against the Miami Dolphins. Well, we said they've had things spinning, these two teams, and right through the hands of the veteran Nat Moore. Boy, they had the 2 wide receivers, Pruitt and Clayton, clearing deep, and Moore underneath, so he had those 2 men as blockers downfield.
Shula in the past has used 3 wide receivers and Joe Rose, but with Rose on IR, he's gone more and more to 4 wide receivers. There's Carson on the sideline. Bud Carson, he's saying, hey, settle down. We don't want to see any more points in this half.
Again, it's the triple left formation. Pruitt, Clayton, and Moore. Marino underneath. Tony Nathan at the 34-yard line. Miami will not call time, trying to get a play off without a huddle. 18. Dolphins have 2 timeouts left. Screen to Nathan. weaving his way to a first down at the 45 and a timeout with 2 seconds left in the half.
Marino obviously wanting that last play. Of course, if they're able to get a penalty or able to get a lucky bounce down there, then maybe they can put some points up before the half. But we've seen a shower of points in this game.
Don Shula yesterday, and again on the pregame show today, indicated that after his team's defense was shredded by the Chargers in the opener, 50-28, he said what psychology here was, we started our season last week against Indianapolis. That 50-point game, that happened some other time. But after a 30-10 win against the Colts, his defense has coughed up 31 points in the first 30 minutes today. How about the other points? Elsewhere, Buffalo 10-0 already in the third period. Dallas at the half by 8 over Atlanta. Denver, big lead at the half at Philadelphia. New England and Seattle, very important game. Two teams that won their first 2 games. And the Rams looking for a 3-0 start. Minnesota 10 over Pittsburgh, and Tampa Bay leading Detroit 14-3. The Jets way back at their 30-yard line. And there's 5 more yards for Marino.
Tom Baldwin on the nose, off too quickly. And Dick, while we have a second, as they sort that penalty out, Hugh Green apparently will not come back into the ball game.
Encroachment, number 95, defense.
They are going to take further x-rays when they get back to Miami, but it is an injury to his right knee. And I think that one of the reasons that this defense has had so much trouble today, speaking about the Miami defense, is the injury to a man who's a very emotional leader out there and a very physical player, Hugh Green. He's not the only problem. His absence is not their only problem.
Yeah, 50 yards from a score in the final play, unless penalty for Marino and the Dolphins. We all know what this one's going to be. Send him deep, give Marino enough time to get one high and deep to the end zone. Here it is. Flopped around and intercepted by the Jets.
Johnny Lynn.
Johnny Lynn with his first interception of the year.
Cast it all, and he pulled it up.
And the Jets fans cheer their team off the field. Wesley Walker, 2 catches, 2 bombs, 2 touchdowns. And the Jets leading 31-21.
And after a couple of performances that were less than inspiring for the Jets, certainly last week's loss, not a good game for the offensive team. O'Brien has shown some real spark here and has used some offensive tools to great advantage as they put up 31 points and take that 10-point lead into the locker room.
And that's not overlooked, the performance by Johnny Hector replacing the injured Freeman McNeil. 2 touchdowns himself and 50 yards rushing. And of course Marino, he's got 3 touchdown passes. We can only expect more of the same in the second half. NFL 86 halftime activities will continue in a moment. We'll be right back after these messages from your local station.
Tuesday, Dick Van Dyke will not only commit the deadliest of crimes, he'll also judge the murder case he created.
I don't kill the he did.
You're under oath.
Matlock, I warned you.
Andy Griffith must be powerful as Perry Mason, clever as Columbo.
I've got to figure out how to get this guy.
The series premiere of Matlock, Tuesday.
It's the great Pennzoil Jeep giveaway. And for 20 lucky winners, something wild's going to drive into their lives. To enter, round up the entry forms that are on every bottle of quality Pennzoil motor oil. Or look for the Pennzoil display for all them details. The great Pennzoil Jeep giveaway. Enter today. And Jeep Wrangler just might drive into your life.
Is it 2.9? Is it 2.4? Is it 1.9? Is it 0% interest rate? Hi, friends. Jim Sampson here for Courtesy Auto Sales. Come on out of the corner, see old Spot and I. Serving Charlotte for 10 great years. On-the-spot financing. Gigantic selection to choose from. Buy here, pay here. On-the-spot financing. Instant credit. That's Courtesy Auto Sales. Corner Albemarle Road, East Independence Boulevard. Come on down and see us. We're dealing.
36 News, weeknights at 5:30 and 11 on WPCQ TV.
Well, if you're Don Shula at halftime, you say we scored 21 and we're down by 10.
Well, I don't think either defensive coordinator is going to be very happy in that locker room. You better believe there are some adjustments being made. They've got to play better defense, both teams, if they expect to win, because these offenses are both playing very well.
Well, you expected the Jets, with all their injuries in the secondary, to have their problems, and they did in stopping Marino's passing game. But how about the Dolphins defense? Will they shore it up in the second half? Well, we'll soon learn. First, we go to NFL 86 in New York.
We welcome those of you who've watched that Dolphins-Jets first half, and what a half it's been. 31-21 in favor of the Jets. We'll go right to highlights of that game, then update you on what's going on elsewhere. Offense, the story of the half, except for this. Hugh Green being taken off, x-rays on his kneecap, and as soon as we know something or Dick and Merlin have information, we'll pass it along to you. Johnny Hector, a couple of first-half touchdowns for the Jets. This one was an 8-yarder in the second quarter, gave them a 17-7 lead. But Dan Marino threw 3 touchdown passes in the first half, one to James Pruitt, one to Dan Johnson, this one to Mark Duper. It was the third, and they had the lead at that point, 21-17. Then the combination of O'Brien to Walker went to work. Just over 3 minutes to play in the half, and a 65-yarder to Wesley Walker. It's 24-21 Jets, and it looked like that would be the halftime score. Then with less than a minute to play, a Dave Jennings punt is botched by the Dolphins. 2 of their players collide. The ball hits one of them, bounces free. Jets recover. They take over at midfield, and let's listen to Dick Enberg.
Ryan going deep for Walker. Wesley Walker scores again.
To make it 31-21 at the half. Denver is crushing Philadelphia at the Vet. 26-0 is the score there, and it looks as if Dan Reeves and company will go to 3-0 and thus put more pressure on the Raiders, who are 0-2 and at home later today against the Giants. The Orange Crush defense, featured by Ahmad Rashad on the pregame show. That's been the story. Randall Cunningham's pass intercepted by Mike Harden. In all, they forced 3 first-half turnovers from the Eagles. Harden brings it back 30 yards for a touchdown. 12-0 Broncos in the first quarter. On the alternating quarterback system, Cunningham is out. Jaworski is in for the Eagles. Makes no difference. Rick Dennison hits him. He fumbles. Broncos recover. Later, a tackle-eligible play works for Denver. Nothing failed for them in the first half. Number 70, Dave Studdard, is eligible. He latches on to Elway's 6th touchdown pass of the season. Sammy Winder had a 4-yard scoring run later to make it 26-0. So you were right on the money in the pregame show.
I tell you, Bob, in Denver, they really have it going. I had a chance to talk to linebacker Tom Jackson, who's been around for 14 years. And he said it's really a pleasure to finally be on a team that the defense didn't have to carry. Now, when the offense scored 38 points against the Raiders a couple weeks ago, it really gave a boost to that defense. They are very confident. I spoke with Carl Mecklenburg, and he says they have the best defense in the entire NFL. Now, here's a stat that I bet you didn't know, Paul, is that Joe Collier's defense has allowed the fewest touchdowns in the NFL in the last 10 years, over the last 10 years.
I knew that.
You did?
Oh, I'm sorry.
You think Denver's defense is better than the Bears?
I don't know, Bobby. That's pretty tough to say. I think that they have a strong defense. They're in the top 3 defenses in the league, between them, New England, and the Bears.
Well, maybe Denver and the Bears will have a chance to settle it in the Super Bowl. Continuing with the scores, Dallas is in front of Atlanta. They've reached halftime in Dallas. Danny White is playing. That had been questionable, but he's thrown a couple of first-half touchdown passes. 21-13 is the score. They go to the third in Buffalo. The Bills now lead the Cardinals 10-3. The Cardinals just got a field goal. The Patriots and the Seahawks to the third quarter. The Patriots trying to go 3-0. Seahawks also came in 2-0 on this wet and foggy day in Foxborough. The Patriots lead at 17-7 now early in the third. It didn't start well for them. Kerry Justin blocks Rich Camarillo's punt, and the Patriots give the ball up at the 13-yard line. On the very next play, the Seahawks, with possession, score as Kurt Warner goes in from 13 yards out, and a short-lived 7-0 lead for Seattle. But Tony Eason has had a good first half. On this first quarter drive, a 22-yard scramble keeps the drive alive and eventually sets up a 6-yard scoring run by Tony Collins that ties the game at 7. After a 26-yard field goal by Tony Franklin gave the Patriots a 10-7 lead, they pad it to 17-7 as Stanley Morgan, who's having an outstanding season thus far, latches on to the 27-yarder from Eason, and they go to the third, 17-7. The Rams spotted the Colts a 7-0 lead, then they roar back to lead 21-7 at halftime at the Hoosier Dome. Steve Bartkowski has thrown his first touchdown pass of the year for L.A. Minnesota and Pittsburgh at Minnesota. The Vikings with a 17-7 lead. 2 Tommy Kramer touchdown passes to rookie Hassan Jones. Tampa Bay playing at the Silverdome against the Lions and leading 17-3. It might not be much longer before we see Chuck Long at quarterback for Detroit. But now let's talk about the Patriots, and you rank them, contrary to what Ahmad says, you rank the Patriots ahead of the Broncos.
I think, you know, I still think that 2 Super Bowl teams are going to be Chicago and New England by Denver. But no, New England, they just play an awesome defense. They really are. The one block punt by Seattle, and it's 13 yards, they get a touchdown. That ended it. If you get the people that were watching that first half of that game, Bobby, Seattle can't do anything, and they can't stop New England because of their running game and the great passing.
Denver and New England play next week on NBC. You guys want to get your wagers in now?
Low-scoring game is all I'm going to say. New England win it.
Hedging a week ahead of time, huh?
They'll sort it out as we pause here for station identification, and we'll be back after this from your local station.
Al plans tomorrow.
What's going on up there?
Nothing. Just screaming.
Then, it was a magic night. There was dining, dancing, and an anniversary surprise that Herbert would never forget.
Tomorrow.
Now it's easier than ever to get one of Pontiac's great ones with the big one. As low as 2.9 annual percentage rate GMAC financing on any new 1986 Pontiac. Or big cash rebates of up to $750 depending on the great one you choose. 2.9 or cash back. And that's on any new 1986 Pontiac. But hurry, you must take delivery by October 8th or you can kiss this big one bye-bye. See Dick Keffer Pontiac on Tybola between South Boulevard and I-77 exit 5.
36 News with John McKnight. Weeknights at 5:30 and 11.
And now for your halftime entertainment, he's back by popular demand, that legendary NFL figure Art Donovan, as profiled by Bill McAtee.
From New York, where they eat punks like you for breakfast, it's Late Night with David Letterman. Tonight, former football player for the Baltimore Colts, Art Donovan.
I think my father thought I was a real big sissy. I don't think he ever thought I'd become a professional football player.
Ladies and gentlemen, when I announce my first guest tonight, please remain seated. Former Baltimore Colt, Art Donovan.
I said, I'm going to Baltimore. So what are you going to do in Baltimore? I was going to try out for the Colts. I told my mother, I didn't think I'd make it. I said, Mom, I'm going to go down, give it a shot. I'll be back in a couple of weeks.
It was a different kind of a game. When I started, you were a sissy if you wore a face mask.
Yeah.
And then after, because of my face, you didn't have to worry about,
Art Donovan has emerged as something of a cult hero, a street kid from the Bronx who stretched his ability as a defensive tackle and played his way into the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
What kind of player were you? I was the type of player that wouldn't have lasted as long as I did. Only that Weeb Eubanks came to Baltimore in '54, and they never timed me. They were so embarrassed because I could never run, even as a kid. So one time they timed me, and they timed me 6'5". Now guys can run on their knees faster than I could run, on my 2 feet.
Art is seldom mentioned with Baltimore greats like Unitas, Amici, and Berry, who won world championships in '58 and '59. But Art Donovan personifies that blue-collar era. So here now, the golden years, according to Art Donovan.
Joyce claims that Victor tried to knee him, and Joyce ripped his helmet off and hit him in the face with his own helmet. Gave him about, I guess he must have had about 80 stitches right down here. And there's a little guy all dressed up in civilian clothes, and he's screaming at Joyce. I said, who the hell are you? He says, I'm the team doctor. I said, doctor, you better get out of here. He'll do the same thing to you. In fact, one time we played the Giants an exhibition game in Louisville in a brand new stadium. And the only thing before our exhibition game, they had a circus. So can you imagine, we go down and there's all kinds of horse manure and elephant stuff, and you put your hand down on the field and you come up with a wad, and we were shaking it at the Giants like this, hitting them in the face with it. And they're going, you dirty, rotten. See, they couldn't move their hand, but defensively could do anything. And we were up in the Waldorf Astoria talking about throwing bologna, horse manure and elephant stuff at them. I knew he was from Honolulu, so I called him up. I said, Charlie, this is no friend of yours. He said, who is it? I said, Art Donovan from Baltimore. He said, what are you calling me for? I saw him here in Honolulu. I thought maybe we'd go and have a couple of beers. He said, look, I didn't like you when I played against you. I still don't like you. Don't bother me. And he hung up. I said, but Charlie, I'm really a nice guy.
That nice guy remains one of the most popular Colts of all time, in addition to his appearances on Letterman. Number 70 owns and runs a small country club outside of Baltimore.
When people remember Art Donovan, the football player, what would you like them to remember?
Just another guy that came down a pike and was lucky enough to play the game as long as I didn't. You can only make so much money. I can only drink so much beer. I can only eat so many Hebrew National hot dogs, salami, and bologna. What more does a guy need in this life? That's really my philosophy of life. I've had a great time along the way, and I wouldn't trade it for anything or anybody. I've done it all.
NFL 86 will continue at halftime in a minute.
Welcome back to Giants Stadium, where the New York Jets lead the Miami Dolphins 31-21. They wanted to run the ball. They scored 68 points in their 2 games last year. They've scored 52 in the first half today. Humphrey will take it at the 20 on the touchback.
Humphrey does the kick in the end zone for a touchback. Jets will take over first and 10 on the 20.
First down plays. 9.2 yards each. Second and 0.8 of a yard isn't a bad situation for an offense.
They have hit some big plays, obviously, on those first down situations. Those are the kind of stats that a defensive coordinator brings in, lays on the table on a Monday morning and says, something I want to talk to you guys about. We have not seen great defense by any means in this first half.
Rocky Cleaver and Nicky Schuler, 2 tight end start, with Cleaver used way out to the near side. Altoon split to the right. Johnny Hector. And he noses forward for a couple. John Offerdahl, 56 on the tackle. Both teams are aware that New England with a 10-point lead going into the second half, as the Patriots try to jump out to a 3-0 start. That would mean the loser of this game would fall 2 games back after just 3 weeks of the AFC East.
Perhaps it doesn't even need to be said, Dick, but so important to come out in the second half and establish yourself. That's certainly not a dramatic play for the Jets to begin with. Let's see if they can't get something going here. You've got to get a drive going here if you want to control the second half.
O'Brien going long for Toon, and that'll be interference. No, incidental contact, and the Jets bench is furious.
Some of the Jets players and coaches quickly on the field to argue it, and Walton is absolutely livid.
It appeared that Toon was just breaking into the clear when tripped from behind by Paul Langford.
Here it is, and watch Toon. The key here, if Langford's head is turned away from the receiver and the official determines that he is not aiming his feet, in other words, he doesn't know where that receiver is, they're not going to make that call. And that's the way it was called in that situation.
The replay seemed to support the official. 3rd and 8. O'Brien looking deep again. Then has to just flip it out to Schuler, who remarkably handles it for a 5-yard gain out to the 27, short of a first down.
What kind of pass was that?
Like one that I threw.
Shot put pass. Nicky Schecht in a situation like that.
Jennings, 2 punts, very productive. One that went 48, no return, and the other was the one in which Pruitt muffed it, and the Jets recovered at midfield and quickly scored on the Walker touchdown from O'Brien. He spirals it towards James Pruitt, and the rookie has it at the 35, and down he goes at the 38. Marion Barber got him. 36 yards on the kick, 3 yards on the return.
Renee Thompson down on the field. He's up now. It's a dying art to call those on the field anymore.
Marino 38. No surprise here. To the air. Almost in. Is not intercepted. The Jets had 2 or 3 shots at it. Meanwhile, back at the 19-yard line, Lyons and Marino discussing future stock options. With that tip drill, it looked as if the Jets had a sure interception.
Marty Lyons, I think, still smarting. He was one of the players out on the field, and this is back in action. You see Lyons out there to argue with the official. Barry Bennett, number 78, out there. And the official said, hey, you want a penalty, get back off the field. There's Radakovich coming out to grab a hold. And there is Walt meeting him on the sideline.
Marino lucky that that ball isn't in the possession of the Jets.
That was volleyball.
Inside handoff to Tony Nathan. Across the 45 to the 46, where it'll be 3rd and 2. Wiles and Gastineau with the tackle, and Mark Gastineau. His name is really not erupted often in this game. What's he been up to?
Gastineau switching sides in this defense, occasionally going to the inside, but the Dolphins have done a good job of forcing him wide. He has not been a big factor in the pass rush. Klecko more effective, I think, in breaking the pocket from the inside, but he has had a hard day too. They have been doubled, both of them, all day long.
Gastineau lined up at defensive right end. Klecko to his left. Marino drilling it for a first down. Clayton at the 47 for the Jets, a 6-yard gain and a first down. Mel and Humphrey with a tackle.
You asked the question about both Gastineau and Klecko. There they are on the right side. Foster 61 and Stevenson inside. You see Cleveland Green, number 74, containing Gastineau on the outside. And as you were able to see on that replay, Dan Marino with plenty of time to get that ball off.
First down at the Jets' 48-yard line. It's 31-21 New York. 11:42 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Able to run effectively. Marty Lyons stopping Woody Bennett after a yard, maybe 2 yards. Lyons, first-round pick of the Jets back in 1979.
You see that cocked position for Joe Klecko, and he's so quick in sliding through inside. Even if he doesn't make the play, he disrupts a lot of things inside. Lyons, as you mentioned, over quickly. And the mark of good defense is great pursuit. How many people can you get on that ball carrier? On that particular play, there was some good defense play, Dick.
And dig in again on 2nd and 8, and offside. Klecko. Marino will go through. This is a free play, and he's got Duper wide open for a touchdown. We'll check the officials, and
I think it's offsides on the Jets.
Number 73, decline, touchdown.
46 yards on the touchdown, and it's now 31-27.
I'll tell you, it's a mistake that you see so often at every level of football. You don't expect it at the professional level. The flag does not stop the play. You got to continue to go. You see Klecko offsides there. Jerry Holmes one-on-one on Duper, and here Marino has all day to get that ball deep. Duper just broke off the pattern. Looked like he was running a post. Decided to break it deep, and Marino, with that great downfield vision, able to see the play and get the ball off.
Reveiz tacks on the extra point, and as expected, Marino and the Dolphins through the air get a quick 7 again as Mark Duper has his 2nd touchdown reception. That's the 4th TD pass by Marino.
It's got to be frustrating for Klecko.
The game, and Mark Duper had an easy 46-yard touchdown. Reveiz, this one's a little shorter than his pass kicks, and it's Humphrey at the 4. It'll be Humphrey. And nice running by Humphrey to the 28-yard line. Mark Duper celebrating his 2nd touchdown. Let's see who's scoring elsewhere. Let's go to NFL 86.
Dick, the Seahawks are back in it at Foxborough, trailing 17-7. Dave Craig goes up top for the former Colt Ray Butler. He beats Vince Glenn, the defensive back on the play for the Patriots, and the Seahawks are within 3 at 17-14. Dick?
A 3-point game at Foxborough, and so it is here at Giant Stadium. 31-28, New York leads it as O'Brien gives to Hector. To the 32-yard line, a gain of 4.
Let's go back in time just to that last touchdown play and watch Mark Duper. A little bend to the inside right there, and then the quick acceleration upfield. Jerry Holmes just no way to recover on that play as Duper takes it, drops into the end zone. Speed, boy, it kills. There's no question about it.
Look at the numbers on Duper. Set a Miami record with 217 yards against the Jets last year. Yeah, Miami needs only 80 more in the second half to tie that. Walker in motion. Fullback Tony Page gets a rare call, and he's to the 34-yard line. It'll be 3rd and 3.5. Atlanta, a couple of quick scores to take a lead at Dallas in the 3rd period. Philadelphia's finally scored on a Cunningham pass to Jackson of 29 yards. And Tampa Bay apparently going to win its first game of the year at Detroit.
Detroit had played so well at home last year, having their troubles there this year.
3rd down and short, and O'Brien going on top to Toon, and a flag this time against Langford. They became entangled again.
Now wait a minute, let's see what. Yeah, they're calling it down. Too much of a good thing for Langford.
Toon had him hung out to dry.
Defensive pass interference, number 44, first down.
At the 36-yard line, first down Jets.
What a great target Al Toon is. Just huge and long arms, about a 39-inch reach.
43-inch vertical jump.
And a 43-inch jump. I'll tell you, you can hang it out there and say, okay, Al, go get it.
Well, we saw him in his first start when Soren was injured last year against Miami in about 10. Cleaver in motion. O'Brien, lots of time. Underneath to Cleaver.
Ooh. Sometimes it's a good idea just to get to the ground. Cleaver, who always fights for that extra yard, in that particular situation ends up spinning backwards and backwards. Coming in motion on that play, and he just went up inside and hooked into an open area. O'Brien obviously looking downfield. Cleaver was about a 3rd choice on that play. Finally got the ball into him.
Looked like a man trying to go the wrong way through one of those revolving doors.
He did. But he certainly, O'Brien again with a lot of time to pass. Both quarterbacks have not been hurried that much today.
2nd and 5. Fake to Blyton. O'Brien in trouble. Eats it. Fumbles. And Miami has recovered. Number 99, George Little, comes up with the ball. No one had seen the fumble except for Little and the official, Pat Haggerty.
Just at a moment when you say they haven't hurried O'Brien, they get to him quickly.
T.J. Turner and Mark Brown. Brown subbing for the injured star Hugh Green.
Pat Haggerty right on top of the play. And he could see that that ball is being knocked loose. Look at him. He's not calling, not blowing the whistle. He's just watching there. And who is that? That's Reggie McElroy, who's just standing there thinking the play is over. That ball loose in there. I'm sure he just thought it was a sack and it was all finished.
So a break for the Dolphins, and they take over the Jets' 47-yard line. Each team has capitalized on the other's mistakes, so now it's Marino trying to put Miami in front with 8:22 left in the 3rd quarter. He's going deep. Could be intercepted. No, he outthrew everyone, including number 28, Carl Howard.
Right on the sideline. A rather sloppy game in some critical areas today. Not only some big plays, but some very sloppy plays to turn the advantage back the other way.
But again, your point, Merlin, about O'Brien, of course, is really only his second full year playing in the NFL, hanging onto the ball. That sack count belongs to him as well. And in this case, hanging on to it so long, not only sacked, but losing the ball.
Well, that's one of the things we talked to O'Brien about, or to Joe Walton about yesterday, is that you do take a risk when that quarterback is sacked because sometimes the ball is knocked loose.
2nd and 10. 4 wide receivers for Marino out of the shotgun. Instead, hands off to Nathan. Good block. 40. 30. And Tony Nathan. What a reliable veteran he is. To the 27 before Lester Lyles can capture him after a 20-yard gain.
Very effective running play out of the shotgun. Little forward handoff right there. Marino just stepped up, hands it to Nathan. And Nathan, who goes through that line very quickly, they're all expecting pass on that play. Got everybody stretched out, and he took advantage of it.
They just took advantage of Gastineau's pass rush. He was charging hard, just bumped him to the outside and ran inside him for 20.
They flip-flopped Gastineau to the open side, away from the tight end. They want to try and put a little extra squeeze on that quarterback.
He's on this side. There's Gastineau. Over the middle. Oh, Mark Clayton won't drop many of those. Carl Howard was the closest Jet, but that had 6 written on it for Clayton. Marino says that's all right.
That's all right. Yeah, I'm sure he does, too. People ask why Marino's numbers were down last year after such a spectacular season in '84.
Why were they down?
Well, one very good reason. Clayton was hurt part of the year. Duper hurt most of the year. You take those 2 guys away from any quarterback, and he's going to have trouble.
Year before, 61%. Or 64%, 48 touchdowns, 5,000 yards.
I don't think we're ever going to see those numbers again. I really don't.
Unless it happens today. 2nd and 10. That one intended for Nat Moore. And there's a case where Marino had to hurry the pass, so Moore didn't have a chance to turn and look.
Well, and that's the kind of situation where the styles of these 2 quarterbacks are so dramatically different. Marino will not allow you to sack him if he has any chance to get that ball away and just throw it away. O'Brien, on the other hand, has been trained to eat that football, and that's the way he does it.
And in that case, had Marino had another half second, obviously Moore was open, but he had to unload.
I'll tell you one thing. Neither of these quarterbacks lack courage, Dick. They'll stand in there and take as much time as they can get and throw the football.
Trying to take advantage of O'Brien's fumble. Big play, 3rd and 10 at the 27. On top for Duper. Incomplete against Davlin Mullen. So the Jets defense able to stop Marino's passing game. And here comes Fuad Reveiz to try a field goal. He is 1 for 2 on this young season.
Mullen chewed up rather badly last week in that New England game. He's had 10 days to think about it, and I'm sure pleased that that ball did not end up in the hands of Mark Duper.
It'll be a 45-yard attempt out of Don Stropp's hold, and this would tie it up. Midpoint of the 3rd quarter. We have a new game. It's even at 31 with 7 minutes and 12 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. 45-yard field goal by Reveiz, and we start anew at Giant Stadium.
Crow Wing, Minnesota, and Old Milwaukee both mean something great to these guys. Crow Wing means Northern Pike, big and mean, and Old Milwaukee means a great beer, cold, crisp Old Milwaukee beer, and smooth, golden Old Milwaukee Light.
There's nothing like the flavor of a special place, and Old Milwaukee beer.
Old Milwaukee and Old Milwaukee Light.
You know, doesn't get any better than this.
America rides Monroe. America rides Monroe. On the road, the way to go. America rides Monroe.
More people ride Monroe shocks and struts than any other brand. And right now, get up to $20 in rebates. Get $2 back on each Monroe Matic Plus. And $5 back on each Gas Magnum or Gas Matic. They'll give you the best ride ever, guaranteed.
On the road, the way to go. America rides Monroe.
No matter what
unexpected problems should arise, Transamerica Property, Casualty, and Life Insurance can be there to protect you.
Hey, you big ape! Who's gonna pay for this mess?
Transamerica. For insurance and financial services, the power of the pyramid is working for you.
Next Sunday, the NFL plays here when the Seahawks battle the Redskins.
Before your team takes the field, our team hits the air. NFL 86.
In case you just joined us, that is not a typographical error. 31 each, and we have 7 minutes, 12 seconds left in the third quarter. Dolphins with 10 points here in the third period. Move back into a tie. There's Bobby Humphrey anticipating Fuad Revez's kickoff. Short. Humphrey at the 11. Body's really flying, and Humphreys as well as 3 flags go down.
Well, I watched Renee Thompson, number 24, go down there just like a guided missile.
And the push in the back against the Jets means that New York will start around its own 10-yard line.
I mentioned that Renee Thompson, number 24, is a real flyer. Look at him right in the bottom of your screen. Now watch him as he accelerates. Look at the way he just throws his body in there. Blazes past a couple of blockers. Watch him right here. Just dives in there. And now that's genuine kamikaze performance.
Somehow I just can't see you doing that, Merlin.
Well, when I was a rookie, I didn't run quite that fast, though, Bill.
Oh, but you would have tripped over your Phi Beta Kappa kid. You were too intelligent to do that. Come on. O'Brien to the sidelines to Walker, and of course that play should work the way that Walker has gone deep. They have to give him some room, and that's an 8-yard game. Buffalo, Greg Bell has scored to give the Bills a 2-touchdown lead. Atlanta has scored on a fumble recovery touchdown and an interception touchdown to take the lead at Dallas. Denver apparently will make it 3-0. New England now ahead again by 10. Rams 21-7. It's been that way for a long time. Minnesota and Tampa Bay healthy leads. It's a high-scoring day. This third week of the NFL
like the first week. First week was very high scoring. Second week the defenses were there again.
On 2nd and 2, little inside handoff to Dennis Blychen. And Miami says they have it. They do. Jeff Offerdahl in the midst of this celebration as Blychen, just an innocent little play up the middle to pick up the first down, and the last 2 possessions have led to Miami fumble recoveries. Mark Brown.
Last one up, he and Jackie Shipp. George Little. Walton doesn't know what to think here. A real stack up. Baumhauer 73, Shipp number 50. Let's see if we can see what happens. That ball was already loose as they got to that point. And the scrambling Dolphins. There's the ball popping loose. Rolled in underneath. Looked like Mark Brown may have gotten down there in time to scoop it up.
Now the turnovers now even 3 aside. The game even at 31. Miami from the Jets 30-yard line. Ooh. Woody Bennett pulled out of bounds inside the 20-yard line.
Woody had a little trouble finding the handle on that one. Finally able to corral it. By that time almost out of bounds. Boy, mistakes can turn it around so quickly. The turnovers in a game, the fumbles, the sacks, there you see the turnovers. The first half, a big edge for the Jets as the Dolphins were turning it loose. But here, it's been 2 costly errors. The Dolphins quick to capitalize on the first and about to capitalize unless something goes wrong on the second.
Marino now with 305 yards passing. 2nd and 2. And Nathan, nothing there.
Joe Klecko.
Oh, yes, he was there.
Klecko, we have not heard as much from Klecko as you did in the first 2 weeks of this season. But again, it's good to remind you that Klecko is playing against a man that many consider to be the finest center in the league. And in that kind of battle, there are going to be more standoffs than out-and-out victories.
Dwight Stevenson, he says the thing, Klecko and all the rest, Howie Long, they say about Stevenson, everyone else double teams us, but Stevenson takes us on one-on.
Yeah, he's had help today. He's had a lot of help on Flecko today.
From the shotgun on 3rd and 4. Wide open Duper. And he's to the 2-yard line against Jerry Holmes. Duper very close to his 3rd touchdown of the game.
Marino loves that man-to-man coverage. Blitz coming, as you saw Lester Lyle coming. That means that they're in man-to-man coverage on those wide receivers. Duper just broke it inside with a slant. Jerry Holmes, although he was there, couldn't do anything but drag him down.
7 catches, 154 yards for Duper. He leaves the game as they go with the 2 tight ends and the 3 backs. Up the middle, short of the goal line. Ron Davenport stopped by Charles Jackson and company. Those of you who have been watching in the Washington, D.C. and Dallas areas, we have a real scramble here at Giant Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. Dick Enberg with Merlin Olsen. It's tied at 31. The Dolphins and Jets with 4:58 left in the 3rd quarter. You see Lance Mell, valuable property linebacker of the Jets, injured on the last play. For those of you just joining us, Hugh Green, the All-Pro linebacker of the Miami Dolphins, left the game on a stretcher in the first half with a knee injury, and they will x-ray that again when the Dolphins arrive home in Miami. It did not appear that, well, he won't play in this game, and he may not play for some time.
Mel, who's been playing hurt with ankle problems, on the ground and obviously in pain. Right-hand side of your screen, look for number 56. You see him right there, and it looks like maybe somebody stepped down on that leg. You see him grabbing his right knee or ankle.
And we have a timeout with 4:58 left in the 3rd period.
The 1987 Mercury Sable. Take off in one tonight. Mercury, the shape you want to be in.
You know, I've played a lot of roles as an actor, from a cop to a country singer. But in real life, I don't play roles. I do what works for me, whether it's my clothes or my credit card. And I don't carry my MasterCard for show. I carry it because it gives me all the possibilities and leaves the choosing to me. Possibilities and personal choice. That works for me. MasterCard. I choose it because I use it. MasterCard. Master the possibilities.
Next Sunday, the NFL plays here when the Patriots battle the Broncos.
Before your team takes the field, our team hits the air. NFL 86.
Examining the ankle of Lance Mell in the blue shirt, Dr. James Nicholas. We'll talk more about him later. They're going to honor him next week here in New York at 2nd and goal at the 1 as Miami just 3 feet away from the lead. Nathan says he's in. No signal yet. They're going to mark it just shy of the goal line.
Good job by the Jets defense. An extra defensive lineman in on the play as they were able to stymie the drive. Watch the initial surge, and you can see that the Jets are able to stop the penetration of the line and able to stack enough bodies in there to keep Nathan away from that goal line.
It was Davenport, Merlin. Nathan out front blocking. It looked as if he had the ball, but it was Davenport. Stop. 3rd and goal. Shula and the Dolphins passed for a touchdown from the 1-yard line in the first half. And they're going to throw again. Touchdown. The 5th touchdown pass of the game. This one goes to Bruce Hardy. Duper with 2. Hardy has 1. Johnson has 1. And James Pruitt, the rookie, has 1. So Marino has tied his own high with the Dolphins with 5 touchdown passes. 2 fumbles recovered by the Dolphins here in the 3rd quarter have led to touchdowns and plus a field goal. And with 4:12 left in the period, it's 37-31 Miami. Wad Reveiz adds the extra point. The Jets scored 28 points, a New York record in the 2nd period, and now 17 unanswered by Miami in the 3rd.
Boy, am I drained. I'm almost ready to burn out in this soft white light bulb. But if I were in the Sylvania soft white bulb, I'd last 5% longer. Why, in their 60 watt alone, I'd have 50 more shining hours. So get Sylvania's soft white light bulbs and get the most out of me.
Ask for Sylvania, where the best comes to light.
Aha, there's a thief in this attic. This skimpy amount of insulation can rob you blind on your fuel bill.
Fight back with the attic blanket from Owens Corning. It's the thickest, most powerful roll of pink insulation you can add. It can help you save money on your fuel bill.
It is an open and shut case.
Owens Corning. We put your house in the pink.
Mount Hood, Oregon and Old Milwaukee both mean something great to these guys. Mount Hood means the best summer skiing in America. And Old Milwaukee means a great beer. Cold, crisp Old Milwaukee beer and smooth, golden Old Milwaukee Light.
There's nothing like the flavor of a special place at Old Milwaukee beer.
Old Milwaukee and Old Milwaukee Light.
Man, it doesn't get any better than this.
Tuesday, Tony Danza is the man convicted of murder.
It wasn't me.
Inspired by a true story, he became a lawyer behind bars.
Gotta keep fighting somehow.
Doing life, Tuesday.
Dan Marino's 5th touchdown pass of the game. He is now 2 away from the NFL record. Sid Luckman, Adrian Burke, George Blanda, Y.A. Tittle, and Joe Kapp all threw for 7 touchdowns in a single NFL game. Bob Greasy, as you saw, the Miami record holder with 6. Plenty of time. 4:12 left in the 3rd period. Reveiz hits it deep to Harper, and he'll not take it out.
Let's go quickly back and look at that replay. You saw Lance Mill go out of the game. And right here is Troy Benson, the linebacker that went into his place. Now watch him as he is faked into the line. The other man to watch is right over here, Bruce Hardy, who's simply going to go down and clear out. Let's turn it loose. Now watch Benson, who believes it's a run. He comes right up inside, and the ball goes over his head. Nobody there. What a nice play. And again, taking advantage of what happens on the field. The injury puts a new man in there who's not used to reacting. Marino and the Dolphins beat him instantly.
O'Brien goes to work. To the sidelines to Cleaver, and he's been a busy target throughout the course of this game. And Cleaver has a first down out at the 35. 15 more yards. Buffalo with a 2-touchdown lead. At Dallas back to lead by 1, and a crazy one at Irving. Denver apparently will go 3-0. New England's lead cut to 3 by Seattle. Rams and Indianapolis stuck on 21-7 for 3 quarters. Minnesota and Tampa Bay on their way to a win.
Nobody's stuck on any number here.
Just don't blink an eye. Johnny Hector. And a little running back from Texas A&M, and a flag goes down, picks up 5. And we'll check the penalty call.
I think we've got a holding call. Good play by Mark Brown, who's been in there for the injured Hugh Green. Well, face mask. You'll see a good pursuit angle taken by Mark Brown here, who'll come all the way from behind to get a shot right there. Yeah, I think maybe.
Face mask.
Sure couldn't see the
Don says the same. Don says the same. First down.
Well, there was obviously not a face mask on the... I don't know, Dick, where that one took place.
I didn't see it.
And it's going to be 2nd down and 1 or 2.
Wide open Altoon. He has a first down at the Miami 47. William Judson did the play defensively. 14 yards for Al Play a Sweet Tune. He's such a graceful looking athlete at 6'4" and 205 from Wisconsin. Studied ballet, wants to be a model. He says, I want to be in GQ or one of those magazines. On first down, on top to Tune. Incomplete. Oh, talk about being shadowed by William Judson. Breathing down his neck the whole way. Tune had him turned around, but couldn't come up with the ball.
Tune is man-to-man coverage here by Judson, who is running well with him. Tune loses the ball, and when you have to twist all the way around like that, I think that's about as tough a catch as you can find because you've got to relocate the ball.
That's a play that Duper and Marino works so well with. Duper always fades, looks for the ball to the sidelines. Tune thought it was there, but it was not. O'Brien with a couple of touchdown passes and 241 yards. He's had a good day. He also fumbled once and 1 interception. Draw play. Hector hit by Offerdahl. At the 44-yard line, Betters was there as well.
George Little. We saw Offerdahl going for that football. Hector clamping down on it. They've made more than their share of mistakes today. They certainly don't want to make another one. Miami quickly capitalizing on those 2 turnovers to move ahead in this ball game. The Jets looking for 7 to tie it up again.
Walker to the right. He has 2 touchdown catches, 65 and 50 yards. O'Brien. It's a great catch by Cleaver. Or Townsell it is. JoJo Townsell. A wobbly pass. Toughest of all, having to reach below your knees to catch it in traffic. And Townsell's first grab is a big first down reception.
It's a maturing process. O'Brien waits until the last second, gets that ball out. It just floats in there. And Townsell with his hands on the ground, actually, before that ball arrived. Very athletic grab. Coaches told me before the game that they expected Townsell to be doing well in there today. They've been impressed with the way he's practiced.
15 yards for Joseph.
They're taking a look at it. I think they buzzed that one to see if that was indeed a catch. A question about whether or not it was a catch, and I think they have looked at it or at least examined it with the replay. And now remember, they can't or won't reverse it unless there is very good irrefutable proof.
After further observation and review by the instant replay officials, the ball is ruled as incomplete.
Incomplete. Well, let's go back and show you the grab. Well, this is the same angle, not a great one, that they looked at. Now, I don't know if that's irrefutable evidence, and that's part of the system that is bothering me, that there's a play in the Rams and 49ers last week, and then a call that was made that somehow to me, my eye, didn't seem to be evidence that was total. From that angle and from what you have seen, they have ruled that an incomplete pass.
Well, like it or not, it is called that way. They will move the sticks back, and it's going to be
instead of first down, it's fourth down. That's a big reversal.
That is a big turnaround. Townsell, did Townsell argue? I didn't get a chance to see. Maybe it was late. He's on the sideline. There's no question the ball was very close to the ground, but not an easy one for me to call from this angle.
Dave Jennings in the apparent punt situation now, and floating back is James Pruitt. Nat Moore will take Pruitt's spot. The veteran Moore down deep toward that Miami goal line. Don Shula wants to use the sure-handed veteran. Boy, that is a big call. Instead of first down and a continuing drive, it's called back.
Judson right in on top of the punter. He's blocked a kick in each of the last 2 years against the Jets. They're concerned about him. He was in there hassling Jennings as he kicked that one away.
See the combination passing, running. It's been Dolphins through the air. The Jets have been able to run more effectively, but not an alarming total there for Don Shula's defense. Most of those yards by Johnny Hector, subbing for the injured Freeman McNeil. McNeil will be out for probably at least 4 or 5 more weeks. Lance Mel has returned to the Jets lineup, the linebacker.
When you have ankle problems, and Mel is going to suffer with them, I'm afraid, throughout the year. He certainly has not been able to get them healthy in the early part of the season here. Very often you get them twisted, and the pain is frightening. You don't know how badly they're hurt. Get off the sideline and say, it's all right, put me back in there. And he's back.
Marino to the air again. Deep down the middle for Johnson. Incomplete. And Johnson was open at the 40, covered by Lester Lyles, but in traffic could not come down with it.
Dan Marino is not afraid to throw that football to receivers that are covered. He's done it repeatedly throughout his career. He did it on that particular play.
Well, don't you, Merlin, see often that Marino, with that quick release and those timing moves, that so often the defensive players have their back to him anyway, don't know when he has thrown.
No question about that. If you look at some of Marino's career stats, his only loss coming in last year's game, a game in which the Jets really dominated them on the line of scrimmage, defensively and offensively.
That's the night they retired Joe Namath's number. Remember, 23-7 they beat them.
Very emotional game.
Marino signaling to his double wide receiver set.
He's called an audible.
He got it away with 1 second left on the 30-second clock. Duper, and the flag is down. Now, this is going to be an interesting call. They both were pushing. Duper pushed first and then was pushed back by the Jet. And we'll see how they rule it.
I'm going to go back. Offensive what? Offensive. 85. Offensive pass interference.
There you go.
Offensive pass interference, number 85.
So it goes against Duper.
So the Dolphins have benefited from a call just before this that took a first down away from the Jets. On this particular occasion, it's offensive interference on Duper. Let's watch Duper now. Jerry Holmes, man-to-man, number 47. He gets a late shove there. Now let's watch Duper. Pushing his head back right there. You saw him, and then a second push. Right.
And Holmes was pushing.
Well, I'll tell you, there's a lot of contact on that play.
And it looked as if Holmes had contact beyond the 5 yards as well. So that was a real mess, but it goes against Shula and the Dolphins. And he is burning the back ear. The side judge was immediately in front of him. Ball at the 5-yard line. Second down, along 15. Interestingly, Marino under center in this situation. From his end zone, he throws it away. There was no one there. And Gastineau was on top of Marino.
And again, Marino's pointing to Gastineau and say, hey, who's supposed to block this guy? Gastineau in very quickly. You'll see him coming from your left-hand side here. Nobody to pick him up. Lance Mel out there soloed out. He's the one that was singled up. Nobody there. Mel got there first, and Gastineau from the right-hand side, so there were 2 bodies on him. But nobody picked up the blitzing linebacker, and Marino had to throw it away.
1 minute, 29 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Some of the Jet stands on their feet down at this end as Marino stares at 3rd and long. He comes to Mark Clayton at the 34-yard line. And Marino has a big first down throw. 28 yards.
Marty Lyons ended up on top of Marino on that play, but no flags.
New England back in front by 10. Seattle creeps to 3, and then the Patriots get another touchdown. Here it's 38-31 Miami with 17 points here in the third quarter to overcome a 31-21 lead enjoyed by the Jets at the intermission. Clayton now wearing eye protectors. He has 108 yards and 5 catches. Duper 7 catches over 150 yards.
Marino still proving that he can take that scalpel to defenses, and especially those that are already carved up with injury.
Even there where they knew he was going to pass. Nathan. And a flag down as Nathan struggles across the 35-yard line.
Ronnie Lee, number 72, I think getting a late shove using his hands on Klecko.
Holding 61. Hooked him and grabbed him.
Roy Foster.
Take him back.
Hooked him and grabbed him.
He's asking the defensive captain, do you want me to take the penalty? Take him back?
What do you want to do?
Well, we get a little insight into responsibilities and the emotion of the officials.
I don't think Pat knows that his mic is open.
Yeah.
Maybe just as well we turn it off for him. Roy Foster guilty of the hold. Final seconds of the third period. Duper and Pruitt to the right. Attack Clayton and Pruitt to the right. Duper and Moore to the left.
4 wides and a single back.
And Nathan. That play worked in the first half. Ooh, the umpire almost got it as Nathan goes out to the 34-yard line. Ben Rudolph and Lance Mel with a tackle close to 10 yards in the game.
Philosophy there being you can spread those defensive backs far enough to give that runner time to come up the middle.
End of the third quarter. It's Miami 38, the Jets 31. We'll be right back after these messages from your local station.
It was a magic night. There was dining, dancing, and an anniversary surprise that Herbert would never forget.
Tomorrow.
Nissan Motor Corporation has announced that Independence Nissan has earned the Award of Merit for the 7th consecutive year. And here's why. Independence Nissan meets very strict requirements in sales, parts, service, and customer satisfaction. Our customers return because the service is good. A recent $250,000 expansion program makes it even better with over 30 service bays. A computerized printout updates you on the service performed on your car. Yes, we care, and our 7th consecutive Merit Award proves it. Remember, the name is Nissan. Independence Nissan.
The laughter of children, the warmth of holidays, the serenity of still autumn mornings, a place to rest and dream and grow, to be secure. The people of Ryland understand what makes a house a home. That understanding strengthens our commitment to build homes of quality, value, and integrity. If you'd like the tax advantages of owning your own home but think you can't afford it, see Sunday's Observer. Our low down payment plans can make it possible. Ryland homes are built for life.
It's the great Pennzoil Jeep giveaway. And for 20 lucky winners, something wild's going to drive into their lives. To enter, round up the entry forms that are on every bottle of quality Pennzoil motor oil. Or look for the Pennzoil display for all them details. The great Pennzoil Jeep giveaway. Enter today. And Jeep Wrangler just might drive into your life.
There's a million reasons to watch weeknights at 6 on Channel 36.
Welcome back to Giants Stadium. Dick Enberg with Merlin Olsen. A scoring fest on this late September afternoon. It's 38-31 Miami. Winner goes to 2-1. The loser drops to 1-2.
And drops 2 games behind an apparently undefeated New England Patriot team.
Patriots lead in the fourth quarter by 10 against Seattle at home. Big play. 2nd down and 10. Miami at the 34. As we open the fourth period after the Dolphins scored 17 unanswered points in the third to take the lead. Over the middle. And it's another completion to Clayton at the 45-yard line of the Jets. 21 more yards. Humphrey made the tackle. Boy, the combination of the 2 marks, Clayton and Duper. Duper with 7 catches and 154 yards. Clayton now 6 catches and 128.
128 or 129, and again, Marino not afraid to throw it right in there into the coverage. Dares those defenders to get it. And I think it's just confidence in his receivers, Dick.
And again, Humphrey not really able to get a good look at the ball. He's so busy trying to entangle himself with the receiver. Marino with 5 touchdowns in the game. Is this one a catch? At the 35-yard line? No, they say it is not. A late call. Duper did not get that one.
The typical of the kind of plays that Marino has been running all day long. The timing pattern to the outside. Watch Duper. He's going to drive his man off with his speed, and then when he gets the defensive man to turn right in there, he spins back to the sideline. The ball has already been thrown. Is it a catch? Well, I don't think you're going to see from this angle.
That isn't even futable.
No,
that's irrefutable.
The officials said no, and it goes to 2nd and 10.
Ball at the 45 of the Jets. 38-31 Miami. First minute of the 4th period. Marino deep. Oh, no flag. Oh, my. Duper and Holmes appeared to be the Duper little manhandle.
I'll tell you. We might as well get boxing gloves for those two guys down there. Little shoulder move there. Little throwback by Duper. That ball out of range, and that may not have been called because it was not a catchable ball.
10 minutes. Boy, how quickly it goes by. What a nice service that is, that any 10 minutes you know exactly what the scores are at all the other NFL games. Down to a 7-point lead for New England in the 4th. And Detroit with a late rally, down by only 4 against the Buccaneers. Third and 10.
Big play.
Deep to Clayton, too deep. Well, Marino said, oh, if I'd have just waited a split second longer, I had Clayton breaking free. So Reggie Roby, a rare experience, at least in the second half. Roby in to punt for the first time in this half. Kurt Sohn, who had an excellent punt return that led to the first score of the game, a field goal. He had a 27-yard punt return, is deep for the Jets. Sohn lets it go, and it goes into the end zone, just barely ahead of Dan Johnson. Jets will start at the 20-yard line when we return to Giant Stadium, where the score reads Miami 38, Jets 31.
An urgent message from the Mazda hotline. 323s are going fast at your Mazda dealer's year-end clearance. And no wonder. 323 has a fuel-injected engine, front-wheel drive, and independent rear suspension, all standard. Car and Driver called it an impressive machine that's not only a solid driving package, but a solid value as well. And right now, during clearance time, your Mazda dealer can make it an even better value. See him today and save.
The Florida Everglades and Old Milwaukee both mean something great to these guys. The Everglades means airboating, as close as you can get to flying without leaving the ground. And Old Milwaukee means a great beer. Cold, crisp Old Milwaukee beer and smooth, golden Old Milwaukee Light.
There's nothing like the flavor of a special place in Old Milwaukee beer.
Old Milwaukee and Old Milwaukee Light.
Hey, guys, it doesn't get any better than this.
Panasonic, the future of office automation. Advanced equipment with an extraordinary concept. The easier, the better. Panasonic offers solutions to your special computer problems. High-speed microprocessors, high-resolution monitors, and high-performance printers, which make them a very easy choice. Panasonic computers and computer peripherals, like our typewriters and copiers, the easier, the better. Panasonic Office Automation.
Here's the disputed play of a moment ago. We show it to you here to emphasize what the rule is supposed to be. The replay official should only overrule if his view is conclusive that a mistake has been made. Now, we're not saying they got it wrong, but is this conclusive that JoJo Townsell trapped him? Looks like it could go either way, and in that case, they're supposed to let the call stand. Food for thought, Dick and Merlin.
Oh, that's going to be a meal for the 1986 season. Not just food for thought. It continues to be controversial at best, the instant replay. Meanwhile, the Jets, trailing by a touchdown, have it at their own 20. Hector punching out to the 26-yard line, where it'll be 2nd and 4. Well, the other angle that we had on the Townsell catch was from the end zone, and here is that. Is this inconclusive or conclusive evidence?
The significance, obviously, of that play was that was a first down just outside of the 30-yard line. The Jets ended up having to punt as a result of that reversal in the calls.
2nd down and 4. Hector the call again, trying to get outside. Oh, he's done some nice running. First down at the 31. Meanwhile, Mark Duper, the sensational wide receiver of the Dolphins, applying ice on his forehead or his right eye.
Reminiscent of the head injury to Harry Hamilton here last week. A blow, and no one seems to really know what happened to him. He ended up stacked up on the ground, split his head wide open. You see them looking earlier at Mark Duper's right eye and then applying ice. But Hamilton ended up with a 6-inch cut, 27 stitches. Can't put the helmet on yet, and will be out, certainly out this game and maybe even next week.
The defensive back of the Jets, O'Brien, play action and going deep, has a man. Toon, 45, 40. Oh, hit from behind by Brzezinski and down to the 33. Another big play in this game. They're crying for Toon.
Toon had twisted William Judson all the way around on that play. Again, the play action, and that works when you've got the running game going. You see it right here. Judson had his back to the ball as Toon cut inside. One thing that scares you, look how he's carrying that football. I'm sure that Bob Brzezinski had his eye on that football. Watch it here. He's lucky he saw Brzezinski and was able to pull that in, or that ball may have been bouncing out of there.
And that's just like walking out on the street in front of a truck. Glyden, who fumbled in the 3rd quarter and fumbles again, but it goes out of bounds. Jets possession. We hear now that the injury to Duper, a finger in the eye, and we do not know whether he will return.
This field position almost equal to what the Jets would have had at the other end of the field. See if they're able to get things together. They're only 7 down, 11:42 in the 4th quarter, in a game that has seen enough points to make all of us wonder about defensive football.
4 points scored in this game than the 2 games they played combined last year. Hector, nothing there. That's going to be 3rd down and 7. Jackie Shipp, number 50, led the charge. Shipp from Oklahoma. Oh, what a team the Sooners seem to have this year. Again.
Not much on that play. Defense finally rising to the occasion here. 3rd down.
79 yards for Johnny Hector, subbing for the injured Freeman McNeil. He's done a solid job.
That's about what he's averaged in the 6 games, close to 100 yards per game. So he has been a very effective replacement for Freeman McNeil.
Dolphins playing pass. They rush 4 men. O'Brien doesn't disappoint. Kurt Sohn, 1st down, 18.
Paul Langford, number 44, trying to cover Sohn. That ball thrown a little bit high, but Sohn is a battler, and he went up and pulled it down.
Well, if they had a campaign for overachievers, Sohn might be the poster boy.
Boy, I'll tell you, watch him go up in the air here. Full extension, knows he's going to take the hit on the way down. Langford going for that football, but it's a 1st and 10.
Inside the 18, call it the 17. Plenty of time left. Miami by a touchdown, 38-31. Toon in motion. O'Brien throws it away. Toon was well covered. Langford and Bud Brown had him. Ken O'Brien. He was the 24th pick in the first round in 1983. That was that sensational quarterback year. Boy, what talent. First it was Elway, then Tony Eason, then Todd Blackledge, then O'Brien, then Jim Kelly, now with Buffalo, and finally Dan Marino.
Well, they've had reunions along the way with Kelly 2 weeks ago, with Eason last week, and this week with Marino. They have yet to meet Elway. They'll see him down the road, and then repeats of the 3 aforementioned quarterbacks. So they're going to have a lot of reunions of that class this year.
Throws to Tony Page. Fullback gets to the 10-yard line. Now they're knocking at the 11. 6-yard gain. It'll be 3rd and 4 when we return. First, this update.
Dick, you and Merlin have the game of the day there at the Meadowlands, but this might be second best. At Foxborough, another blocked punt by the Seahawks. Patrick Hunter blocks the Rich Camarillo kick. Paul Moyer covers it in the end zone, and the game is tied with 1:54 left, 31 apiece.
31 all there. The Jets are 11 yards away from making this one 38 all. And boy, how Chuck Knox's special
teams and defense, and they've done it up there today. We've seen a lot of big plays on special teams here today as well.
Both quarterbacks over 300 yards passing. O'Brien on 3rd and 4. And he'll throw out of the backfield. Hector. Does he have enough for a first down? No,
he's short.
He's to the 8-yard line. That will be very close, but not enough.
No.
And O'Brien is slow getting up. He was hit just as he delivered the ball.
3rd and less than a yard to go.
4th and less than.
4th and less than a yard to go. And there goes Griggs. That's the 3rd tight end into the game. Tony Page, the big short yardage back. He usually gets the call in this kind of situation.
Shula, meanwhile, takes out 4 of the pass defensive types and puts in more beef.
You saw Bobby Hammond, the coach, with his hands raised in the air. He's signaling in the formation so they know who's supposed to come out.
This could be the game. Page was hit at the line of scrimmage and was able to fight forward about a half yard. Was it enough?
I believe he's got it, Dick. That second effort has its payoffs, and you saw Page, who was so physically strong, he was able to take that first shot, keep his legs moving, and drive that pile ahead.
Number 90, Merlin, Andy Hindle from North Carolina State, 2 years in the USFL, made that hit. But Page, with a power, 225 pounds, able to fall forward. And now the official measurement.
They're going to trot it in from the sideline. There's the signal by Bobby Hammond. And what he's saying is this is the formation call. If you're supposed to be in there, stay there. If not, get the heck out of there.
Well, the crowd quiets as they wait for them to stretch out the chains. Well, credit Woody Page with that. He just made it, and it took that little lurch forward for the Jets to get it 1st and goal at the 7. Tony Page, what a job. First final, Tampa Bay, its first win of the year, 24-20. We have 9 minutes left here at Giant Stadium. Jets trying to tie it. Blyton with blockers behind Sweeney. He has a touchdown. Dennis Blyton's first touchdown of the year. Did he have an escort? Number 53, Jim Sweeney.
And they're running at a position usually occupied by Hugh Green. Green, of course, out of the ball game since an injury in the 2nd quarter. We'll get a look at that right after this kick.
Pat Leahy ties it up. 80 yards in 11 plays.
Watch the block by Cleaver coming in on the top. 89 right there. Sweeney, 53, pulls out and blocks on Judson. And Blyton just pulls away into the end zone.
Blyton, who went to a lower Manhattan high school that didn't have a football team.
An urgent message from the Mazda hotline. It's year-end clearance time, and factory cash allowances mean great deals on every Mazda truck. Trucks rated first in customer satisfaction. Like B2000, dollar for dollar, the best truck buy in America. At $63.95, it's the lowest price leading import with all these standard features. And right now, you can get it for hundreds less. Hurry to your Mazda dealer's year-end clearance and save.
Not everyone got a vacation this summer.
I need a vacation. What do you need, some glasses? How many fingers can you see? I need a vacation.
This fall, you can still get great low fares to more places on the biggest bargain airline, United.
I got a vacation. Have a nice shower, Picorni. And I'm not just flying. I'm flying friendly skies.
I'm out of there.
Being there. That's what being a State Farm agent is all about.
When Scott and Vicki started to outgrow their insurance, we got together and reviewed it all. The new house, a second car, life and health coverages too. A State Farm family insurance checkup can be a big help. It's free, and it's there because things change. And like a good neighbor... Right, Jason? Yeah! State Farm is there.
We have an unofficial report down on the field that has now been denied. These two teams are not disguised as the San Diego Chargers. These are the real folks, Miami and the Jets, 38-all. Kind of game you expect when you see the Chargers play. Pat Leahy to kick it off. 8:42 left. Might be whoever has the ball last. Hampton. There's that Joe Carter, and he takes a lick from Griggs and then is pushed back inside the 15. Billy Griggs had got there first. A reminder, our viewers will have the Budweiser Most Valuable Player for today's game at the conclusion.
We could have a tough ballot. A lot of explosive plays. There are also some candidates for worst player of the day. I'm glad we don't have to choose that one, Dick. Hugh Green on the sideline. You see that leg bandaged and a big ice pack on that right kneecap.
Boy, that's like seeing your expensive car with a big dent in it. Such a valuable property. Hugh Green. Marino. Flag down. Clifton gets Hampton.
Today's game is brought to you by Mazda Cars and Trucks. The more you look, the more you like Mazda value. By Panasonic. Panasonic, just slightly ahead of our time. And by Budweiser. Beechwood aged for that clean, crisp taste. This Bud's for you.
Game now well over 3 hours old, and we have 8:25 left. The call is against the Jets. Miami will take the play, and Marino chalks up another 10 yards plus on his passing count. Marino is approaching the 400-yard mark. Del Costanza, our statistician, working on those numbers, and he's using both hands. He's writing with the right and the left today. First down at the 29.
You need a computer.
He's 17 yards shy of 400. He may get it on this play. Close. Flag down as Holmes makes the tackle on Clayton at the 41. Matt Haggerty's been busy.
Offensive pass interference, number 87.
It is against Dan Johnson, the tight end.
I think what we're seeing there is a pick being called against the Dolphins, clearing the way for Clayton. Third down conversions on the day. The Dolphins are 6 of 11. The Jets 5 of 13. So both teams below 50%. Maybe we can see that play. Well, just the end of it, but you can see Dan Johnson standing just at the top of the play, and there were 2 defenders there. He'd obviously bumped into them. He's not allowed to do that while the ball was in the air.
Now Marino first down in the hole. We approach the midpoint of this fourth quarter. Screen to Hampton. Oh, what a hit. Credit Matt Munger, the second-year linebacker from Oklahoma State. He's another of those overachievers. Went to college as a walk-on running back, made a linebacker, played on the scout team as a running back 2 years at Oklahoma State. Yeah, the college quarterback named Rusty Hildren out there with the Raiders. Marino with 385 yards passing. O'Brien with 306. 5 TDs to 2. Marino over O'Brien.
Of course, the Jets have counted on their ground attack for a lot of their success today. Marino almost entirely up on top.
Second team. Marino lucky to find the handle. Flag down. And the official, number 82. What a catch.
92.
Jim Poole. He was on his way. Don't stop now, Jim.
I think there was a whistle blown before that play. Yeah. He heard the whistle and just wanted to stop it, but this play will go into the, I guarantee you, this goes into the blooper file.
8 seconds back on the clock. 8 seconds.
Well, Jim, the only thing, though, he didn't shift the ball to the right arm so they could protect it against the on-rushing.
What happens if he scores? Here it is. Stepping up. He's waving his arms. The play is over.
Listen to the crowd. They have just seen the replay that you have watched. Come on, Jim, crack a smile.
Well, that's not a smiling violation for Marino and the Dolphins, as that marches them back another 5. Second, about 22, 23 yards to go.
In a Mardi Gras atmosphere here at Giant Stadium, 38-38. It has been a football celebration of sorts.
And they're putting a sign up that says defense, defense, defense. Where are they going to find one?
I'm not sure they could even spell it. There it is, up on the Giant scoreboard at each end of this magnificent stadium, modeled after the same structure at Arrowhead in Kansas City.
No question it's a great stadium, Dick, but if you look at all this plastic and artificial turf, I'm not sure this is a football stadium.
Crowd of 76,000, at least that many tickets sold, over 76,000, and most of them highly entertained. Meanwhile, we want to keep an eye on that game up at Foxborough, tied at the last report. With Dallas and Atlanta, 1-point game there. Seattle has gone in front of New England 38-31 on a 67-yard pass from Craig to Butler. So Seattle down by 10, suddenly leading by 7 with 1:13 left.
You've scooped the 10-minute ticker.
I do not know why they are not playing. 2nd and 23, no timeout was called. Oh, the net at the end of the stadium beyond the upright fell down, but why that's significant enough to stop now, I don't know.
Nobody's kicking the ball at this moment.
So they lose a ball. Don Shula is saying, let's go ahead with it.
Maybe Pat Haggerty will tell us what's going on.
Going to wind it.
No. We do know the play has started once more. 30-second clock is ticking.
Pruitt, Clayton to the left. Duper with Moore in the backfield, and he'll probably go right. Moore's lined up at right halfback position. They've got Marino at the 9-yard line. Gastineau, Lyons, and Klecko with Crable. The second sack for the Jets. The other came when Marino tripped going back to pass, so this is the first sack resulting from a legitimate rush.
The Jets only had 3 sacks coming into this game. That's 5 on the season. You see the speed on the outside, and it's Bob Crable, number 50, coming in on Marino, and then some powerful play inside by Klecko. The combination is good. And look at Lyons. He's celebrating in there with a couple of whacks to Klecko's helmet.
Third and a bunch. 29. Clayton at the 48-yard line. Third and 29, and Marino uncorks a beautiful rainbow to Clayton.
Let's just watch Clayton right here. Just a little fade and up the field, and it's a timing pattern. It's a one-on-one coverage, but watch him as he bursts out of that backfield. Johnny Lynn trying to cover him. That ball's already in the air, and it's just a one-on-one battle. Clayton wins it. Perfect over-the-shoulder pass by Dan Marino.
First down at the 49 of the Jets. Mark Clayton and Mark Dupert chewing up that injury-riddled deep defense of the Jets. 171 yards now for Clayton on 7 catches. On the ground, and that's something they've not been able to do. Hampton wrestled back by Marty Lyons.
You might ask, why does Marino and why do the Dolphins throw so many more times than they run in this game? And there are 2 reasons. Their strength is in the passing game to begin with, but also the Jets continue to stack a lot of people, often 8 men, sometimes even more up tight to that line, and the Dolphins feel that they've got to challenge that kind of defense. There's Carson, whose philosophy is to play pressure defense. It's pretty tough when you're as wounded in the secondary as he is, but still look at them. They've got 8 people up tight and 2 more that are right up next to the line of scrimmage.
Marino fires to Johnson. Incomplete. Almost deflected back to Carl Howard of the Jets. Marino was a fine baseball player in high school. In fact, was drafted as a third baseman. Boy, he just looked like a third baseman going deep behind the bag and bracing to make the long throw to first. 400 yards passing. Fouts with 6. Marino with 5. The Hall of Famer Sonny Jurgensen with 5. But Marino has his 5 in 3 years.
Just a matter of time, isn't it?
Closing in on his 6th today. Oh, he's got it. That's right. He's got it.
That's right. He was 4. He had 4 coming into today.
4 minutes, 28 seconds left. 38-38 tie. 3rd and 10. Clayton unable to come down with the ball as he was hit just as it arrived. Humphrey, Howard, both were there.
Very smart play by Humphrey as that ball was bounced into the air. He reached up and took Clayton's arms right out of the air. You've got to try and strip that ball away, especially from receivers who will take it in traffic. You see him there. You see Humphrey go up and just jerk those arms down. The receiver himself, he knows that's one way to keep the man from catching it.
Reggie Roby to punt. Kurt Sohn back at the 10. On 4th and 10. What a game. 7-3 favor of the Dolphins into the first period. At the half, 31-21 Jets. Almost blocked. Fair catch for Sohn, and a tough fair catch at the 17-yard line. At the end of 3, 38-31 Miami, and it's currently tied at 38 with 4:17 left.
I've been shot at, shot up, and shot down, so I don't take chances on anything. I won't touch a filter that isn't from AC. Why mess with air filters that can't go for up to 30,000 miles, or oil filters that can't deliver up to 15,000? For the AC Delco retailer nearest you, just give me a call at 1-800-AC Delco. If you put your muscle into a job, use your head and do it with AC Delco.
A Ranger never takes the easy way out.
You're reaching deep inside you for things you've never known. Go!
That's why getting into the Rangers is tough, and the training is tough.
Be all that you can be.
So it makes me feel like I'm part of something really special.
Be all that you can be.
And I'm not the only one.
Find your future in the Army.
You really want to appreciate the Coors difference. Less heavy, easy drinking. Try spending some time doing this. Oh, yeah. Coors is the one.
Oh, the dilemma of choosing the right pregame show. She demands predictions, he the latest scoop. We in NBC Sports suggest you put as much thought into selecting a pregame show as you did when choosing your friends. Possibly more. NFL 86, the one you'll choose.
Here at Giant Stadium, it's tied at 38, and as we were leaving, I thought I detected a chortle, a little laugh out of your presence. Now, what was that all about? 38, just because of all the scoring?
I got to tell you, as a defensive player, I know how painful it's going to be. Fumble.
Is it called a completed pass? That's the key here. It is Miami's ball. Now the question, did Walker have possession? And this will probably send that vibrating message to the umpire that says, wait, let's look at the replay.
What replay? We'll have one here momentarily for you. The officials have indeed signaled completion and fumble.
Now here, coaches have become alert enough that Joe Walton is going to certainly wait for this to happen. Here's the replay. Walker 1 foot, and he came down with both feet. That's a legal catch.
Awfully close, though, Dick. The officials are asking for that one to be.
That's a tough ball. He didn't have it
very quick. Well, if the play is run, it stands.
Look at Shula. He says, get up to the line of scrimmage. And here they are. In field goal range already at the 27. Marino looking for more underneath to Hardy. And the tight end is close to the 17, and down goes the flag.
Kyle Clifton, number 59, going to be ticketed for a late hit out of bounds on Bruce Hardy.
And Klecko is injured. Joe Klecko.
Quick as you see those people out there.
Defense. What?
Klecko's knee is up in the air as you see Dr. Nicholas out there, and oh boy.
Kyle Clifton ticketed for unnecessary roughness. It'll take the ball down inside the 10-yard line. And there's Joe Klecko, the all-pro nose tackle.
Klecko, the heart of that Jets defense.
Well, it's bringing up to date. Buffalo, a final, has defeated St. Louis 17-10. 35-34 Dallas in the fourth. Finals, Denver wins. They're 3-0. Seattle with a great come from behind at Foxborough. They're unbeaten, and New England goes to 2-1. That's good news for both Miami and the Jets. Rams win again. They're 3-0. Minnesota with an impressive win over Pittsburgh, and Tampa Bay with its first win of the year. They just announced the Seattle victory at New England. That brought a cheer.
The left knee for Joe Klecko, and maybe we can go back and see what happened on that last play. All we have is Klecko responding after the play, but you see him grabbing that left knee, and Klecko has had several serious knee injuries over the years.
And isn't it ironic that Hugh Green, the great linebacker of the Dolphins, now on the sidelines, has knee heavily taped, apparently a serious bruise or dislocated knee, and now it's Klecko holding the knee.
Klecko moving pretty well. Well, you never know. I tell you, he's tough. He might walk off of there with a knee that's in a shambles. We'll have to wait for a report.
You know, Merlin, having played on the artificial surface, that there just isn't much pad underneath, and when you all that weight are jammed into the ground, there's Hugh Green. He can certainly empathize.
There's no question in my mind that the turf shortens the life of the player. It simply does not give those injured knees and those parts of the body that take such a beating a chance to recover. And it used to take our players, and particularly those with knee problems, at least 2 or 3 extra days to recover from playing on artificial turf.
Right back to the action. With 3:45 left, Marino has a 1st and goal at the 8 after the penalty. Woody Bennett with a good hole is to the 4. Tom Baldwin, Kyle Clifton, and others.
You see them going right up the middle, and knowing that Tom Baldwin is in to replace Klecko, they go right up the gut.
They're already well into the first period of some of the later games. Raiders early lead against the Giants, and San Diego leading Washington in the first. Kansas City over Houston by a field goal, and the 49ers lead New Orleans by 3. Here it's 38 all. 3:07, 3:06 left. Second and goal. Marino has thrown for 2 one-yard touchdowns in this game, and he's got another score. That is the 6th touchdown pass of the game. Mark Clayton finally gets his.
Marino into the end zone to high-five with Clayton. The Jets fumbling the ball away. Miami right back in a short burst to put it in the end zone.
Well, that's been the story of the second half for Miami. They've recovered 3 Jet fumbles, and those 3 fumbles have led to 17 points. Revés has the extra point. Now it will be up to the Jets offense. They have plenty of time. All 3 of their timeouts remain, and 2 minutes 56 seconds left with Miami in front 45-38. Mark Clayton's 8th catch of the game, 174 yards.
Quick slant inside, and Marino falling away threads that ball between Jet defenders, puts it out in front of Clayton. Oh, I tell you. It's hard to look at that. Just a slant inside.
Pretty well covered, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. Carl Howard all over Clayton. One more time. You look at it here. Howard is as close as he can be, but that ball is perfectly thrown. Clayton's body is between Howard and the ball. All he can do is try and strip it away.
Clayton, who set an NFL record with 18 touchdown catches in '84, has his 3rd of this season. Boy, the combination of Duper and Clayton. 6 touchdown passes from Marino to tie Bob Greasy's Miami club record. Duper has 7 catches, 2 touchdowns, 154 yards. Clayton 8 catches, 1 touchdown, 174 yards. Total them up, 15 catches, 328 yards, 3 touchdowns from Duper and Clayton. Revés hits this one well. Boy, he's kicked well all day. 5 yards into the end zone. JoJo Townsell will take the touchback at the 20. And the Jets have 2:50 to try to force an overtime.
And it wouldn't surprise me. It's been that kind of day, hasn't it? It has been that kind of day. Reminiscent in a way of the game down in Miami when Ken O'Brien took his team 80 yards in the final minutes of the game for a touchdown, only to watch Marino come back to hit the play with Duper, a long bomb to win it for Miami in the final seconds of the game.
That's right. He hit Cleveland. There was 1 minute 7 seconds left. It appeared the Jets had a big upset win. 17-14. It's not to be. O'Brien. That'll be an incomplete pass.
Now, wait a minute. Let's see. Yeah, he's going to call it an incomplete pass. Slipped out of O'Brien's hand. A strange play. As O'Brien's hand started forward, the ball slipped out of his hand.
He had L. Toon going deep, and maybe at the last moment he felt he was risking an interception if he tried to go long and try to stop it. So he's lucky.
I don't think he tried to stop it, Dick. I think he tried to put a little bit extra on it. I think he's going to get it out there as far as he can. Watch him. Tries to whip that ball, and it just came right away from him. Now, I don't know. That might have been a fumble. It looked like it was out early.
Looked like Garo Yepremian on that pass. Over the middle to Toon. And a first down at the 37. Offerdahl made the tackle. 17 yards for the Jets. 2 minutes and 30 seconds. No huddle. No need to really hurry here. They have all their timeouts, plus the 2-minute timeout.
Well, they may want to keep the substitutes off the field for Miami.
O'Brien throws that one where no one can catch it. He was being pressured hard by T.J. Turner, a rookie from Houston, number 75.
There's several reasons, Dick, to go without a huddle, one of which, with so much substitution taking place on defenses now, occasionally going without a huddle will force them to deal with or play with what they've got on the field.
That's a good point. You see that it's been Miami outscoring the Jets 24-7 in the second half. And the fumbles that have really hurt the Jets, and Miami's great passing game led by Marino. 2nd and 10. Almost intercepted by Bud Brown, intended for Altoon. And Mark Brown, no relation to Bud, was the man hammering O'Brien as he threw the football.
Quarterback vulnerable as he throws that football, and O'Brien, I think, either had his bell rung or got the wind knocked out of him. Is very slow getting up on that play. He's still acting rather shaky. We haven't seen O'Brien from the sideline.
There's Pat Ryan.
Pat Ryan.
So in a 45-38 game, it appears O'Brien's going to try to stay in.
They call the timeout to give him a breather finally.
This will count against the Jets 3, however. At least that's how Pat Haggerty signaled the timeout.
He doesn't look like he's breathing well yet as he heads to the sideline. And you see Ryan in the background. I think it's appropriate to be wearing green if you have two quarterbacks named Ryan and O'Brien.
That's right. You need a little luck of the Irish here. Meanwhile, we're waiting word on Joe Klecko as to the seriousness of that injury. We've received no official report yet.
We also have noticed that Lance Mel has been on the sideline with that ankle of his heavily taped. This has been a tough day on an already beleaguered Jet defense. And we've mentioned the injury to Hugh Green, equally difficult.
Well, the Falcons, someone said, well, they're 2-0, but they haven't beaten anyone. They're trying to upset Dallas. The Cowboys at home, 2-point lead for the Falcons. Chris Barr has kicked another field goal for the Raiders, and San Diego leading Washington 7-3. McLaury, a field goal for Kansas City, and rushing for San Francisco.
We're going to be on at the end of some of those games. There's Klecko, and that's good news. He's up on his feet, moving around. I think if he were severely injured, you'd see several doctors and trainers crowded around. That's good news.
And we talked about the tandem, Clayton and Cooper. Toon has 4 catches and Walker 3. 7 for 203 yards and 2 touchdowns. Klecko, tape knee, will be back. 3rd and 10. O'Brien, incomplete. Hector, no flag.
Kozlowski there, Bud Brown there. But Kozlowski at the last second reaching in, timing his hit, arriving with the ball. 4th and 10, and it looks like the Jets are going to go for it with 2:06.
Well, the scoreboard shows 3 timeouts left, so apparently they did not charge the Jets with that injury timeout to O'Brien. The last 2 minutes they would have. And there's a lot of time, even if they don't make it on 4th and 10. Big play, under pressure. O'Brien to Toon. He didn't make it. Even with a second effort, he's out of bounds at the 45-yard line, short of the first down. So Miami, with 1:57 left, takes over at the Jets' 45-yard line. Now Miami and the Jets will try to use those 3 timeouts and stop the Dolphins.
AT&T, the right choice. The Bears trail the Vikings 17-9 in the 3rd quarter and are floundering with Steve Fuller at quarterback. Do they risk bringing in injured Jim McMahon to provide a spark, or should they stick with Fuller? What would you do?
This is an AT&T long-distance command center where our engineers make sure your calls go right through. It's a unique system only AT&T can bring you, with thousands of ways to get from here to there. And there are 7 more centers like it, because we're not about to take chances that busy circuits could keep you waiting.
Well, she definitely has my hair.
For over 100 years, when you reached out, we were there. And you can keep it that way. AT&T, the right choice.
What did you decide? The Bears decide on McMahon, who throws 3 touchdowns to spark a gutsy come-from-behind Chicago victory. The Bears made the right choice.
1:57 left. We have had it confirmed that there are 3 timeouts left, which is unusual because O'Brien, with timeout left the field, was allowed to continue to play the next play. Normally you have to at least exchange a player for one play if that's the case, but apparently Walton has 3 timeouts left. Now the Jets line will try to stop the Dolphins. Hope that they can give O'Brien a desperation chance. Marino, meanwhile, sitting on a 6-touchdown game, and if they key too much on the run, he might pick them for 7.
They certainly have not done much with the run during this day, but with Marino in there, you've got to respect the pass, and he's not afraid to throw it in any situation. And with Shula calling the plays, you never know what's going to be called.
Joe Klecko is not in the game. Tom Baldwin is on nose tackle. Now there's 2 timeouts. 2 timeouts. They had to charge him on the O'Brien play. First down would all but do it for Miami. They have Matt Moore wide right, double tight end, Hardy on this side, Johnson to the right. Give it to Woody Bennett. Fumbles! And it goes right back to Miami. Unbelievable. Ben Rudolph had it fumbled right into his hands. In surprise, he could not bring it in, and it went to a Miami player down on the ground.
The one thing you look for in this situation, to get your hands back on that football, to give your offense a chance at it. The ball, watch it. Woody Bennett, or Woody goes right into the line here. The ball is hit right there. 54 is Troy Benson, and there's the ball right in the hands of Ben Rudolph and drops it back inside.
Roy Foster on the ground just saw the ball fall right in his lap.
Boy, talk about a turnaround.
Jets aren't calling time here, surprisingly. Clock is running.
1:43. Maybe after this play, they're going to call it. They've only got 2 left, Dick. Klecko, I guess they're not going to take a chance with that injury, but the fact that they considered him putting him back in the game would indicate that that is not a very serious injury.
Hampton stopped after 6 yards.
Quick timeout. There it is.
1:18 left. 1 timeout remaining. It'll be 3rd and about 8 when we return to Giant Stadium.
The 1986 Indianapolis 500 champion Bobby Rahal, winner of the fastest Indy in history. Continuing the winning tradition of Budweiser racing teams, Bobby took the checkered flag to win the Indianapolis 500. Racing fans, this Bud's for you.
An urgent message from the Mazda hotline. RX-7s are included in your Mazda dealer's year-end clearance. Mazda RX-7, Motor Trend's Import Car of the Year, has a fuel-injected rotary engine, state-of-the-art independent rear suspension system, and a price that makes it today's hottest sports car value. But during his year-end clearance, your Mazda dealer will make it even better. So hurry while selection is still great. See him now.
Veteran Ben Rudolph.
He's still thinking about that, having that ball in his hands and seeing it bounce back into the arms of one of the linemen, Roy Foster, on the ground.
Who says luck isn't involved in this game. 3rd down 9 from the 44. 1 timeout left for the Jets. Pass. Marino looking for that one more. Finds Hardy on the sidelines. And out of bounds he goes. That's a break for the Jets. He's short of the 1st down, and they stop the clock by knocking Hardy out of bounds after a 6-yard gain. So 4th down and about 3, and Roby comes in to punt, and the Jets were able to save a timeout.
Plenty of time left in this ball game with 1:11.
That unofficially was the 50th pass by Marino. No one back for the Jets. They have 11 men on the line of scrimmage. A huge unattended green. They're going to put some pressure on Roby, but a 2-step kicker, he's tough to get to, and they don't. No flag. Goes in the end zone. 1:04 left. 1 timeout remaining for the Jets. Well, they did that fairly well, did they not? With only 2 timeouts, they actually used only 53 seconds, did Miami.
Not what you'd want to do and try to eat that clock up. Ball down on the 20-yard line. Almost the same situation that Kenny O'Brien faced last year. We mentioned it just a few minutes ago. And in that particular situation, he rallied the Jets, drove it all the way into the end zone, and completed it with a pass to Cleaver.
Jets really playing deep, and they'll go underneath to Schuler, but they need more than 5-yard gains.
We have seen very little of Schuler today, and I think one of the reasons he has had a slight groin pull, and I think it's bothered him. And the other thing is that the Miami Dolphins know how much O'Brien likes to go to Schuler, and he's been one of their priority targets defensively today. They've done a pretty good job of taking him away.
3 catches, only 18 yards. It's 45-38. Miami leading, less than a minute left. 1 timeout left for O'Brien. Yeah. He gets to the sidelines, and a first down at the 32. 7 yards on the scramble. 49 seconds left.
Using about 10 seconds off the clock, but did pick up yardage, did pick up the first down. And again, his training not to make the mistake. They don't want him to throw the bad pass. Zone coming in with the play from the sideline.
1 timeout left, so O'Brien can afford once, if he sees the opening, to go down the center of the field. First down.
It certainly changes the way you can play defense too, Dick.
There he goes down the center, and then they pitch play to Hector. He's all the way to the 39, but can't get out of bounds.
He's not out of bounds. We got an injured player down, and I don't think, yes, they are going to stop it, but I think O'Brien called a timeout.
Pitch and trailer. Schuler catches the pass and pitches back to Hector, one of the oldest plays in the book.
I think Shula is the guy who usually runs that play. In fact, they've run it quite often, and here's the toss. They fool a couple of the Dolphins here. Opperdahl is up. Kozlowski is up. But Lyle Blackwood was not fooled. And Kozlowski able to get him down inbounds. There's Schuler. Schuler took quite a shot right there. He was slow getting up. And there's
Hector. Play. Remember in the San Diego-Miami playoff game a few years ago, that dramatic game that went overtime, it was Don Strock to Duriel Harris, who pitched to Tony Nathan for a touchdown.
A little bit of Don Schuler's own medicine being handed back by Joe Walton. Puts them in on the 39-yard line, looking in at that goal line.
And there's the situation. They need 7 to tie. They have only 35 seconds to get there, and it's a 39-yard trip. And coordinating producer Ted Nathanson, our director today Andy Rosenberg, producer Larry Cirillo. Who was the script writer today?
Well, he came straight out from Hollywood.
And O'Brien trying to make it even more dramatic. Schuler. Whoops. Oh, he fakes it, trying to get outside. And he does. He stops the clock. What an effort by Schuler. They were looking for the pitch back to Hector, and they left Schuler, and that allowed him to get out of bounds. 4 yards.
Play. Right back to the other side, but Schuler could see there was nothing to be gained from flipping it, kept it in his hands, and had to fight through a couple of tacklers to get out of bounds. Watch him at the end of this play. He can see there's no gain here. They got a piece of him too early. Kozlowski, no way he was going to take the bite a second time. But there's Schuler. 1 man, 2 man, 2 men on him. Bud Brown, the last guy to get a piece of him. Don McNeil, the second man on him.
2nd and 5. O'Brien to the sidelines. Schuler, but he doesn't get out of bounds. And now they'll have to hurry. The ball is at the 20-yard line.
16, 15, 14. It's counting down. They're lined up. They'll get it out of bounds. Good, smart, quick play. But we're down to the last few heartbeats of this game, Dick.
Well, they have one chance. Very difficult to get a play in less than 5 seconds. You don't want to risk that. So it's going to be one play at a time. Yeah, it's been busy. Joe Costanza, our statistician. We want to thank our help in the booth, Mike Elmer, Dan Regan, Jim McLaughlin, Ron Zipkowski. pass. It's on the 20-yard line, and this is the play. Sent in by the man who calls it, Joe Walton. Tony Page, the messenger, gives it to O'Brien. And 5 seconds to tie it up. Walker, touchdown! Oh, my! Wesley Walker's third touchdown catch of the game comes with time expired. Now Pat Leahy to kick the extra point necessary for overtime. Unbelievable. 45-45 overtime.
Here's a chance to watch that play develop. O'Brien has to step up into the pocket to get that little bit of extra protection. Zipped it into a slot. There are 2, 4, 5 Dolphins around Wesley Walker. But Wesley Walker has the ball, and he's in the end zone.
And we'll return for the overtime after these words. Oh, my, from your local station.
Who wouldn't want to be marooned in a tropical paradise with Lonnie Anderson? Ha! Her ex-boyfriend, that's who. Stranded, Monday.
Over 100 years ago, Home Federal Savings and Loan was organized to promote savings and help build homes in Charlotte. Today, our contribution to Charlotte's growth is very evident. Customers of Home Federal appreciate our dedicated and caring employees. We've progressed and now offer a full range of financial services. Friendly, personal attention, 6 convenient locations, and full service. That's why people come to us. Home Federal Savings, a past and future you can build on.
Sometimes going out to pick up a few things.
The Jets, with momentum flowing in their direction, have won the toss, will get the ball first in overtime.
This is a game in which you don't want to lead off the overtime period with your defense. I'll tell you, it has not been a day for defenses. You see it here again. A real strike pitched in there, and Walker handling that very hard throw in traffic. That's got to be one of the biggest catches of his career.
And how many times have you seen in one game 3 receivers with over 150 yards? Walker has 151 yards and 3 touchdowns, both Cooper and Clayton with over 150 yards. Well, here's what that winning the toss means in overtime. Nothing.
Well, it does mean in this case that the Jets, who have suddenly gotten hot on offense, get the first chance against a defense that has not been very spectacular today. I think there is an advantage here for the Jets, but they've got to take advantage of their opportunity.
I would say some 20,000 of this sellout crowd trying to beat the traffic left early, and oh, how they might be regretting that.
They're trying to drive back into the stadium now.
Roves to kick it off. 15-minute sudden death. Safety, field goal, touchdown, it's over. But only 15 minutes. It comes to Michael Harper. Ooh, and he's cracked hard. Fumbles, and who's got it? Miami, if they rule out a fumble. Was he down?
We haven't seen a signal from the officials.
If it's a fumble, it'll be the 4th. No, they're motioning Jets ball. Marino thought it was his, and very nearly was.
Go back and take a quick peek at it. Traffic right there. The shot to the ball. Woody Bennett.
Oh, that was a fumble. It was a fumble, and unless the Jets get it off, they're going to vibrate.
Let's see what we can see with this one. Legs going down.
Matter now. They get a playoff. Toon out of bounds, but clearly that is when they should have buzzed, because that was a fumble. And herein is that whole dragnet. The instant replay, while it's a good idea, frankly isn't working.
Here's a better angle of it, and you can see the ball broken loose before the runner is down.
No question that's a fumble.
The Jets, with a quick huddle and a quick play, beat the system on that one.
O'Brien to Toon. 2 for 2. He's at the 46-yard line. Another first down. Well, the rulings have been made when the evidence didn't seem to be conclusive, and here it would appear there's quite obvious evidence that he is not down. The ball is clearly out of his grasp before he hits the ground, and Miami recovers the football.
I think the Jets would say they lost one early. They picked one up here. Maybe it's even down on the day. I don't know. Miami's not going to be happy, Dick.
First down, Jets. 1 minute into overtime, tied at 45. Woody Page. He has good yardage to, except that Tony Page, the one to call him Woody. Tony Page to the 47.
Got the legs that look like tree trunks, I tell you.
Thanks for trying to cover it with it. Pat Leahy, who has not missed for quite some time. 15 straight for Leahy. Anticipated. Second down. 4. Most of the crowd standing. Hector.
Whoa.
He has quick feet, doesn't he? First down at the Miami 43. And the Jets driving closer and closer to field goal range.
Marino wants his shot on the sideline. He knows that all it takes is a field goal or a touchdown. Any points on the board, and he's not going to have a shot at it. I tell you, Dick, you've got to pass some bouquets out to the offensive line of the Jets. Dan Alexander has been in there all day with a bad back. And those guys have been down in the trenches knocking it out, doing a fine job in there.
Fake to Hector. O'Brien going for it all to Walker. Touchdown. Oh, my. Ladies and gentlemen, you've seen one of the greatest games in NFL history. In overtime, 51-45, the Jets have beaten Miami when the Jets scored on a 20-yard pass to tie the game in the final seconds of the game. And O'Brien then hit the star of the game, Wesley Walker, 4th touchdown catch. As Walker, a field day, 4 touchdowns and some 200 yards in receptions. Wesley Walker, who made the brilliant catch in traffic, stabbing the touchdown reception that tied the game, floating, and Ken O'Brien laying it in there for a dramatic 51-45 win. Officially, Walker, 6 catches, 194 yards, and 4 touchdowns. And in overtime, 51-45. A touchdown that perhaps The Jets should not have had the opportunity to score. On the kickoff return to start overtime, it appeared very clearly that the Jets had fumbled it. Michael Harper, number 84. Watch him closely.
Harper up inside. The ball is loose right there. Harper still up. His knees not yet on the ground. The Dolphins came up with the football. You see them pointing. Crash Jensen, and they're saying our ball. The Jets quickly huddled up. Maybe the smartest play of the day. Got a play off before anybody could buzz down from the replay booth, and then went right down the field. 2 quick strikes to Al Toon. They moved it on down with a running play. They set up the long bomb, and then it was just a streaking Wesley Walker beating Don McNeil down the sideline, and as he has done so often against the Dolphins, it was again Walker who was the nemesis.
Wesley Walker, the 31-year-old veteran from California. He can only see out of one eye. He's legally blind in the other. He caught passes for touchdowns of 20, 43, 50, and 65 yards today. And the New York Jets win 51-45. Stay tuned for the Budweiser NFL Report coming up after these messages from your local station. To Hector O'Brien, going for it all to Walker. Touchdown!
Oh my, indeed. This is the Budweiser NFL Report, brought to you by Budweiser Beechwood Age for that clean, crisp taste. Wesley Walker and Ken O'Brien, this Bud's for you. Hello, everybody. Bob Costas along with Paul McGuire and Ahmad Rashad. It was, as Dick Enberg said, one of the great games in NFL history, at least in terms of excitement. Now, those who are purists with regard to defense may quibble, but they'll be talking about this game for a long, long time. Final numbers, unofficial, but at least close. Marino throws 30 for 50, 447 yards, 6 touchdowns. The 6 touchdowns are a personal high. He had twice thrown for 5 in a game. Joe Kapp, Wyatt Tittle, George Blanda, Sid Luckman, all of them threw 7 touchdown passes in a game, and that is the NFL record. Ken O'Brien, 29 for 43. Even more yardage, 479, 4 touchdowns, all of them caught by Wesley Walker. The Dolphins are 1-2. The Jets are 2-1. You may recall on the pregame show, we talked with Don Shula about his defense. They had yielded 50 in Week 1 against the Chargers. They did hold the Colts to 10 at the Orange Bowl last week, but face it, folks, that's the Colts. Shula was optimistic. He said he'd gotten some people back healthy. He thought his team would not give up 50 again. They yield 51 in overtime today, and seldom, if ever, has Don Shula had a defense so questionable. You think about it, you go back to the Super Bowl when San Francisco was able to handle their defense, and then it continues into last year where they gave up an average of about 20 points a game, and that's the most a Shula-coached Dolphin team has ever averaged in terms of a per-game yield, and it continues into this year as the Jets win 51-45 in OT. And a look at some highlights. Talking about that Dolphin defense, it certainly isn't helped by the departure of Hugh Green, injured knee. He missed the rest of the game after going out early, and we don't know how many more weeks he'll be absent. 2 catches for touchdowns by Walker late in the second quarter. This was a 50-yarder that gave them a 31-21 lead at halftime. Marino, as we said, threw for 6. We'll play it by ear to see which one this is. Oh, yeah, it's the 46-yarder to Mark Duper. The scores were coming at a dizzying clip. You see that Duper caught a couple for TDs. Now, Wesley Walker